Hey YouTubers and friends, how you doing out there tonight? Absolutely fabulous. I hope you're doing a lot better than me because I felt like crap today. But like I tell our friends over at Prospectors Radio, the show must go on. So here I am, fever, feeling shitty, oh, beep, feeling crummy and all. But we have a really good show planned for you tonight. We have a motherlode prospector, Reed Lukens, who's also another YouTube creator, and he'll be with us right after this.
Tuesday Night Hangout is a flashy old man production.
All right, everybody. Well, let me shrink myself down. Oh, I gotta do a little finagling in my program. Will shrink me down and we'll bring up my brothers of another mother right up above me. Can't snap with my left hand. There they are. How you doing tonight, Dano and Jesse?
Jesse's sick
so
too.
you're feeling like I'm feeling, but sick or
Yeah,
not,
I've had chills and fever and been not feeling too good. But hey, you know what they say in the show?
I can relate, brother. I felt fine when I was walking upstairs to go to bed, but shortly after, my head started pounding, and you know, you get that acidy, yucky taste in your mouth. So then I'm running to the John and I won't go.
I've been doing the Dayquil and NyQuil thing.
I'd much rather rake my shin like I did than be sick like that.
Well, I think I'd rather rake my shin too than be sick like that too, but I'm feeling good enough that I'll go to work tomorrow. I still have a headache though, but hey, such is life. It is what it is, and like I'll tell my good friend in the chat room right now, Mr. Tim Grimes, the show must go on. Love you, Tim. Love you.
We're all injured tonight, or sick or injured.
Yeah.
Sick or hurt.
Yeah. The Motley Crew's here, like always, on this cold, brisk Tuesday night here in Ohio. West Central Ohio.
In the U.S. of A.
Well, it depends where you are in the U.S. of A. If you're where Reed's at right now, you're enjoying weather around 70-ish, 80, maybe.
Yep.
He won't have cold weather unless he went up to Flagstaff or something, or in the mountains. But it should be a really good show. I've been watching Reed for years now. We'll get in on some other things about his dredge when we pull him in.
In the what 4 or 5 years that I've known you, you probably mentioned his name probably a million times.
Quite a bit. Yeah. I have a lot of respect for this gentleman.
He does some nice videos. You know, he was one of the first ones that I watched on building equipment. Then I found Ed in the Shed. And then
that guy.
But yeah, it's going to be a fun night tonight. We're here to have fun. So hey, if you're ready. Whoa, wait a minute before we get going here. A little
rant.
No
Oh,
rant.
okay.
I don't feel good with rant.
No rant tonight.
What? Whitewater. A little about Whitewater show from last Tuesday. The Fred Hertz show.
Yeah.
I think last week, or it was the week before, I mentioned that his girlfriend's son, who was a logger, supposedly, he could probably do the I'm a lumberjack, I don't care, those guys.
Work all day, wear high heels, suspenders, and
he was supposed to be a logger, but he couldn't handle the heat of Justin complaining to him and telling him how to do stuff. So they got into a big argument and he left. Of course, there's drama on this show too. I was really hoping not to have all this drama, but oh well.
Hey, drama sells.
Hey, it sells. That's what people want to see, I guess. Me, I like to see the Nugget. They found a nice nugget and some nice gold.
Yeah, they did.
Right near the top. So they're getting there. They built this diverter wall. Crazy. But it works. What a cool idea. Remember that, Ed? We could do something like that too.
Yeah, we could. Well, didn't we do something like that at the East Swank property that one time? We were throwing all the rocks in front of us and building that wall.
Yeah, right.
And
so we could go across the creek with no hard current coming at us. Just divert around. Right. That was cool. But yeah, it's going to be more drama. And Fred's getting married to her. He proposed to her. So.
Right.
He says, what's he say? I've been married 40 years or something like that.
It just took 3 wives.
3 wives to do it.
Right. Well, you can't blame the guy.
Ready. What about you, Dana? Ready?
Yeah, sure. Always ready for the guests.
Well,
it's always good to hear what they got to say, man.
Definitely.
Sir.
Let's bring Reed in because he's joining us because we asked him to. How are you doing tonight, Reed?
I'm doing good.
Excellent.
Not too bad.
Excellent.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Okay, cool. Good.
Great to have you.
Yeah.
There he is, Reed Lukens.
Right.
So what's been going on with you?
Well, I'm living down here in Arizona now. We moved out of California this last year, just before Christmas, and we came down here to the Stanton camp. And right now we're staying here in our trailer, which you can see we're in, And so I've been doing some gold mining down here and just having fun.
You're not going back to California?
We'll go back and forth. I still have a house in California.
Just can't dredge there no more, so that kind of sucks.
No, can't dredge, can't go gold mining, pretty much can't do anything. Can't even use a straw legally in California now,
Yeah.
Oh, I heard about that, where waiters and waitresses can get like up to 6 months jail and a fine for serving a straw that isn't solicited. So if you don't ask for a straw and they give it, you can complain about it and they could get fined. Man.
What's okay? Well,
I know we try to stay off this. I know, but
I'm gonna ask one question.
The land of my birth has gone to hell.
What is the offense?
That's prison.
I can't hear nothing.
Broke up.
Oh, what is the offense?
Yeah.
It's if a waiter serves you a straw, it's just gone through into their California thing. If a waiter serves you a straw without you asking for it, then he can be, jailed for it. Because straws are polluting the coastline. Whatever they say.
Oh, okay. So you're creating biohazard? No, you're creating pollution by serving.
Jeez.
So if I don't ask for straw,
And they give it to you.
because I'm not going to use a straw,
They can
so
be
then you're going to
fined.
throw
Yeah,
away.
exactly.
6
Or-
months
or-
in
or-
jail.
Wait a minute.
Are they afraid I'm going to go to the creek and crevice with it?
If I ask for the
Ooh, that's a good
straw,
idea.
and she throws away when I'm done with it, it's okay.
Yes.
Yep.
You know, Reed.
So anyway, yeah, it's just we moved out of California because, you know, I mean, in 2009 they outlawed dredging, and then this year, you know, they went ahead and they took Brandon's case and just said, no thanks, we don't want to hear you, and it's like, what are you gonna do? And I, you know, it's kind of like I was forced into retirement in 2009, and so here we are 8 years later, and well, I'm still retired, but happily now, and I'm in Arizona.
There you go. There you go. I'm just so glad I moved away from California a long, long time ago. I've just seen that state go. Now, I always say if they get rid of Sacramento, San Francisco, LA, and San Diego, that state would be a great state again. But I just don't understand why they got Governor Brown back there. You know,
it's funny because I was in California in the early '70s, in San Francisco, when Moonbeam first came onto the scene, and it was cool then. You know, it was when it was good to be a liberal. I mean, it's not good anymore, that's for sure. I mean, they used to have good ideas, but now they've just I don't know, they've gone astray. I don't know, but anyways, we're here to talk about gold, not California silly laws.
Exactly.
Very true.
Exactly.
My goodness. Okay. I'm going to be giggling about this all night now. Shit. Well, I know they also charge you for plastic bags. Is there a tax on them?
Well, I don't know. They want to charge you a dime every time you get a plastic bag at a grocery store.
Right.
So, yeah, we
Charge
just, you know.
10 cents.
So instead of buying the plastic bags, the ones that they give you free in the other 49 states,
Right.
they gave you a little bit thicker bag now that you have to pay a dime for.
Okay.
Well,
No big deal.
eventually, they'll say no bags
That's why we all live
whatsoever.
somewhere else. Yeah.
And, yeah. There's a lot of reasons why I left that state, but hey, we won't go there.
Yeah, pretty much dredging. Dredging just kind of killed it for me, and that was.
Yeah, I was going to say the fact that they put a moratorium on dredging probably just did it for you, and all the other stuff you could probably deal with. You know.
Well, it was my retirement. It's funny. And I started retiring. You know, I figured in 2009 that was going to be my life. Before that, I'd be out there and I'd be dredging, and that would be how I'd be making, extra money for my retirement. And they just kind of, outlawed it. So there it was, 2011. I ended up, retiring anyway, and just didn't have dredging. I did some gold mining, did some high banking, the kind of stuff that was still legal then. And they've just made it so difficult now that, I moved on, and now I'm down here in Arizona, and I can do whatever we want. We can dredge down here or do whatever. And there's great gold down here, and that's the whole thing. That's why we're down here at Stanton, because Rich Hills is one of the richest gold mining areas in Arizona. And there's, from what I've seen, there's all kinds of gold around here.
Well, our buddy Swiftwater is in Arizona, and he does a lot of dredging and dry washing down there. Yeah,
I've done some dry washing myself. I've got a Gold Hog multi-sluice now that I use for recirculating, and I'm in the process of getting my Gold Cube high banker. My Gold Cube trommel down here. I'm going to try and hook up the trommel to the top of the multi-sluice and maybe do some changing to where I can run more water through it and get some production out of it as a, a little portable recirculating, high bagger for out here in the desert where you don't have a whole lot of water, but I've got, I can carry water with me up to 45, 55 gallons, something like that with what I have right now.
Yeah, I guess that's what they do there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is dredging down here also. And hopefully, if we have enough water next month, I will be dredging. But so far, from what I've seen down here, we're in pretty much of a drought down here in Arizona right now. So there hasn't been a whole lot of snow on the mountain. We had a couple inches of snow the other day up at the top of the hill, and that was it. And, usually you'll be up there and the snow will be melting off. And right now we'd be getting ready to go dredging here in a couple of days next month and when it opens up. And we know when the water starts flowing really good. That's all it is down here. You're just waiting for the water to start really flowing. And the more flow you got, the better.
In the meantime, you dry wash.
Exactly. Dry wash or recirculate. And you got your three different crowds. You got guys that recirculate, you got guys that dry wash, you got guys that metal detect, pretty much. Then you got guys that do it all.
What's the temps there right now, Reed?
I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, and it's probably 75, 72, something like that. Okay. And it's just getting dark here.
It's dark here, and we're at 21 degrees. How's that?
Yeah. It's been dropping into the 30s and 40s at night here, and that's about as low as it gets. But during the day, because we're down here, the sun really heats it up good, and generally we're anywhere from 60 to 72, 78, something like that today.
Yeah. Dick Goldsmith says he wishes he was in Arizona right now. We all wish we were there right now.
Oh, kidding.
Arizona, New Mexico,
nice.
Something.
Well, I looked at Oregon. I got family up there, and when it came right down to it, I got family right here. My gold-minded family right there at Stanton, and it all works out good.
Our friend David from Tasmania goes, plenty of water in Taz. Maybe Reed should buy a house here too.
Why not?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Big nuggets over there in certain spots.
Well, speaking about nuggets, Reed, let's hear your story. What got you started into the lifestyle of prospecting and mining?
Well, basically, I was born into it. I'm a fifth-generation California gold miner on my dad's side, and I got 8 generations on my mom's side. And so, when I was a kid, we would go down. I lived right above the American River, so we would walk down to the American River to go swimming. And probably when I was 5 or 6 years old, we started finding nuggets down there. And I remember taking a nugget home that was, about the size of my thumb back in those days. And my dad was like, "Oh, it's gold. That's not worth nothing." So it's like, "Oh, okay." And so we go out, and down there at that time, back in the early 60s, there was gold all over the place down there, and you find nuggets all over. And so we'd go down there and we'd take the nuggets and pick up, and we'd use them for, we'd wait and get the right size and use them for slingshot bait. For slingshot, stuff. We're shooting our slingshot, and we'd go ahead and we'd slap them and put them in a slingshot, and then we would shoot against the rock bank, the bedrock bank across the river, and listen to it smack into there. And the more you shoot it, the more it'd flatten out and just drop down into the water, and then we'd swim down there and pick it up and do our thing. And so pretty much I've been gold mining all my life. I just didn't realize I was gold mining until I got older, and all those nuggets that we had down there, I went ahead and took them. Well, me and my buddy, and we dropped them into this hole when we were, because it was like no sense of taking it home because, $35 an ounce or whatever. My dad was saying it was worthless. And yeah, it was the thing. Grandpa, great-grandpa, back, we all had the gold bug. My dad, for whatever reason, he never had the gold bug. And so, and because he was raised in the Lukens mine and cool and having to do mining and having to do the hardware store in Auburn, he just, gold mining was not his thing. And so that's what happened with him. And so he was just pretty much against it. And all my life is like, "Oh, there's no gold there." And I was like, "Well, what about on the property?" He goes, "Oh, there's no gold there either." And next thing you know, like I said, here I am 6, 7, 8 years old. I'm out there just finding all kinds of nuggets, and shooting them out of slingshot and throwing them at my buddies and so on and so forth, and thinking nothing of it. And then, you know, we're sitting down there at the river one day, and we got this feeling, you know, we could feel that something was going to happen, something bad. We didn't know what it was, me and my buddy Andy. And I actually wrote about this, put the story on my Facebook page years ago. And so we just got up and we ran, because you could feel the earth kind of, you know, it was like a small earthquake or something was going on. So we went up and ran off the spot we were sitting on, and the bedrock just opened up, and the piece of bedrock just fell down onto the ground, and sitting in there was a nugget the size of the palm of my hand.
Ooh.
And so that was the first big nugget I found. I was 10 years old then, and it was about 4 ounces, you know. And you know, and we were home. We were still down there trying to get that nugget and get it out of there, you know. And well, here came Dad and his dad too, and like, you guys are late for dinner. You better get out of there and get up there to the house right now. So anyway, you know, and that's pretty much how we got our start in gold mining. Then, you know, a couple years later, I was asking him, you know, teach us how to gold pan, this and that, and he ended up taking me up to a friend of ours, which was the Dorr family up in Humbug Canyon, California. And old Ray Dorr was the guy that took me out and actually showed me how to pan for gold and taught me how to look for it. And he was saying, gold's not worth nothing. Gold's worth all kinds, you know, it's worth money. And he showed me how to get it. And we went up there and he, you know, showed me exactly where to dig and how deep to dig and how to go to bedrock and crack open bedrock and everything. And pretty much from then on in, I did it for quite a while. And then, you know, of course, I got my teenage years and, you know, got more into cars and girls and did that. And then next thing you know, I was married. I had a couple of kids, and the wife says, you need a hobby. So I'm like, no, I'll just go back into gold mining again. And so that's what I did. And that's when I started dredging. Because in 78, I had this really nice swimming hole that we had been working on for years and years. And there was a guy down there with a dredge. It was one of the old iron tube King dredges. You know, it was a 3-inch with 2 inner tubes, one front and one back,
Right.
like a 5 horsepower motor on or something. I walked over to him and I was like, what the heck is this thing? You know? And he's like, oh, it's a gold dredge. And so he showed me how to gold dredge and how it worked. And that got me into dredging more or less. And then a couple years later, another friend of mine took me out with his dredge, and he had a 5-inch, and he pulled out a nugget the size of his thumb out of the Yuba River when we were over there at his place camping for the weekend. And, you know, from there on in, dredging, I was hooked. And I dredged for years up until the end of 2009, you know. And then, of course, I left and went to Idaho and went dredging in 2012, and I have a series on that on my YouTube channel, you know. But that was the last time, technically, right now that I've been dredging was in 2012, and that was up in Idaho. So, and Idaho is a beautiful state, too. I love dredging up there also.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, yeah, that's how I got into gold mining. Was I just pretty much been in it since I was a kid. You know,
Just kind of fell into it.
That's how I got into it. Was just people kind of throwing me in. You know, and of course, then I started going to the gold mining shop. And
I just never heard
Barney
anybody
owned
say
the gold mining
gold is
shop
not worth anything.
Yeah, that's what I heard for years. It wasn't worth anything. Yeah, the most funny thing was, oh yeah, I was telling you, so we had all these nuggets down there that we'd use for slingshot bait and so on, and because we just go out and we'd find nuggets all over the place. They were just nuggets everywhere down there, and we probably had 30 or 40 nuggets, and so we stuck them down this hole. And so I was probably 25, 28, somewhere in there. I was like, you know, I'm going to go down and see if those nuggets are still there. And I went down there to that spot and went down to that where that hole was, and it's like 6 feet deeper than it was. The river had come in and washed everything in on top of it. So I ended up digging down. I dug down 4 feet and had my arm all the way in there, and I was able to reach a whole bunch of them out of there. I didn't get them all. I don't think. There's probably more down there at the very bottom. But as far as I could dig down without it caving back into my arm, I actually was able to get probably 10 or 15 nuggets back out of there.
Incredible.
No doubt.
Here we're pilling around. We're pilling around here for dust, you know. But I like my dust.
Yeah.
I'll take it all.
Yeah, and that's what I've been getting down here in Arizona.
Too.
I've got a couple small pickers so far, and I've been here a couple months. I've been out mining. I went to the outing they had down here, and then other than that, I've just been kind of kicking around, not doing a whole lot. I hurt my back for a little bit, and then finally I'm getting good on that again. It took about a week, and so then today I went up and I was scoping around, and I found a couple spots I'm going to start hitting, and they look really good. You know, you got to
So
look
you
for the right
still,
color. That's the thing about where we are in Arizona is the geology here is really similar to up there in the hydraulic fields that I worked at up in California. So, you know, finding stuff, it was pretty easy. You know, I mean, hopefully the gold's going to be there. I think I found a spot that looks pretty good. It's got the blue lead right on top of it, or what they call down here the black lead, or the black channel, which is the same thing as the blue channel in California. You know, it's really, really dark blue or
Right.
black. It really is black
Oh.
down here.
yeah, I saw those videos. I haven't watched them yet, but I saw those videos. That looked really interesting. I'm going to catch those later, but I haven't watched them yet.
Yeah.
So is that where that's
Yeah,
what
you
you
learn-
said you were working there?
I'm working down here. Yeah. Yeah,
No,
I
no.
do have a series, the hydraulic mining series on YouTube that I put out that pretty much, you know, teaches everything that I know about hydraulic mining and how to look in the channel and what the channel looks like and so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much what I did, and that's why I started my YouTube channel. You said you wanted me to talk about that a little bit, and
Yeah.
you know, I started because years ago I was on the 49er Mike forum, you know, and people were, you know, I was doing my best to help other miners learn how to take care of their stuff and make equipment and so on and so forth. And somebody said make a video, and so finally, 2005, 2006, I was able to go ahead and make that, you know, how to build a gold dredge video and so on. And I had made it, and I was handing out copies to friends of mine because I didn't have a high-speed connection, never expected to get one, you know, to open up on YouTube. And then 2011 came around, I got a call from my provider, my ISP, and he's like, "Hey, Reed, hey, I can get your high speed down." I'm like, "What? I'm out in the sticks." And so it turns out I was the farthest away of any customer AT&T had anywhere, you know, but actually, and it worked. And so I got my high speed, and I went ahead and connected up to YouTube, and I loaded that video up and a whole bunch of other videos up onto YouTube, you know, pretty much everything I know about gold mining, and
Right.
did my best to teach everybody what I could, you know, back then from 2011 on. So that's how my YouTube channel got started. I finally got high speed, and I was able to pass on my knowledge, and that's what I did. So I made a whole bunch of movies on, you know, setting things up and building things, you know, and all I know about hydraulic mining and the areas and so on and so forth. And that's what I did. I did it to help other people. And that's, you know, pretty much then once I had made all the movies that I could about helping and doing some, you know, reviews on different products and how to make them better or whatever, I just slowed down, and I ended up meeting Karen, and we got married, and we just been out traveling. And like this last year, 2017, we went all the way to the East Coast and saw friends of ours over there. In fact, I went and saw Milty NC, if you guys remember him. Some of you, I'm sure, do, over in North Carolina. And so we went over to North Carolina and saw him in our new trailer. And then I went down, saw another gold miner friend of mine who lived down in South Carolina, and then came back, and we saw friends all the way across the U.S. and the southern U.S. coming back between February, March, and April this year.
Nice.
So we've had a big year traveling, enjoying life, you know. Not a lot of gold mining, but a whole lot of fun.
David from Tasmania has a question. Have you written any books, Reed?
No.
There you go, David. No. Have
No.
you thought
You know,
about ever writing
ago-
any books?
Years ago, I used to write a lot, all the time. And I put all my stories on the 49er Mike forum, and I had them all there. Like, you know, how to build a gold dredge, or, you know, what to look out for if you're going to buy a used gold dredge, you know, that kind of stuff. And I had all kinds of stories on there. When that site went down, a lot of them went with it, you know. So I put some of them on TreasureNet. I'm on TreasureNet now, and I pretty much only have time for one gold mining forum. So after the 49er Mike site went down in whatever year that was, I went ahead and I started searching, and I found TreasureNet, and I've been on there ever since. And I've got some stories on there, quite a few actually. So as far as writing an actual book, no, I never did. But instead of writing a book, I started making movies and doing that instead.
Yeah, I'm a member of TreasureNet also. I haven't been down there in a while, but I usually go over to Gold Prospector space.
Yeah.
That's typically where I go.
Usually
Lot of
where I
information.
hang out. I believe I'm a member of TreasureNet too, but
Yeah, I am too. I'm on TreasureNet.
but I'm
Yeah.
never there. So
I get on every.
Well,
now
you know, and
and
that's the thing. I had to choose one, and so that pretty much just fit the bill. And Gold Project Space, that was good too. I've been on there a few times, but I haven't been on there lately. I've just kind of, like I said, we've been traveling and going all over the place. And generally, we're out in our trailer, you know, out in the middle of the woods. And you know, finally, we just moved into an actual camp here at Stanton, where we're actually plugged in for a change instead of just being out, you know, just camping out in the woods by the river. Yeah, boondocking.
well, Jonathan Perrette, who we call Hook in the room, he has a few properties you can dredge on there. He's in
Oh, really?
southeastern Indiana.
Oh, no kidding.
There's actually some pretty good gold down in that area.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. As long as it can dredge, that's all that matters. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Get some
well,
dredge in, you can have some fun, you know.
seeing
Dredge in Ohio too.
I'll bring it up again. You know, you're always invited to the Buckeye Chapter's Gold Rush Days over Labor Day weekend here in Ohio. And
Oh, Labor Day weekend. Cool. We were going to ask
Yeah.
when that was.
You'd
Yeah.
enjoy that. You'd enjoy that.
Yeah.
you'd
Oh, yeah,
really
sounds
like it.
Heck yeah, I'd like it. You know, I'd love it. I tell you that right now.
Yeah,
That'd
it's
be a lot of fun.
clean water, cold water, Trout's River here in Ohio, and plenty of dredging there. And, a lot of our Indiana friends come up, people from New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia. It brings people in from all around.
Oh, cool.
I think even
That-
one
that
year
we
we
get
had
some
a guy
vendors in.
from Dubai come.
Dubai.
Oh, no kidding. Wow. Yeah, see, we've only done the southern states so far. We haven't together hit a lot of the northern states like Ohio. We've never been back that far
Yeah,
east.
no need to come
Yeah.
up here. There's no gold in Ohio or Indiana. Don't worry about it.
Well, especially, you know, we went there. We picked up our trailer in Tennessee this last winter in February, so we weren't about to head north. It was already snowing there where we were, so we just headed right down to 10 and came back on 10. So, and that's the only time, like I said, I'd never been to the East Coast before, or even out of California for the most part before that, other than going to Oregon here or there, maybe into, you know, northern Mexico here and there a couple times. So that was about it.
Well,
Yeah,
think about it this way: in the summertime, when it's too hot here, you could always come this way and work here.
Yeah,
You
could
know,
do that.
we're not as hot as you would be in Arizona at that time of year. You know, we got lots of places here in Ohio, Indiana, you know, and again, you know, down south too. There you go. There's your summer.
and it's a beautiful country, lots to see.
That sounds like fun. Yeah, we've been wanting to do the northern states. That's our plan, is to try and do that. You know,
Well,
right now we're trying to get we still have more stuff to do to get us, you know, all into Arizona and get the house and so on and so forth. And so we're moving on that, and we're going to see how that goes. We'll probably be here till hopefully end of April, early May. We'll see what's going on with taxes and that kind of stuff, and go from there on that. And then, yeah, we're there. We're going to see where we can go. You know, maybe we can get up that way. Hopefully, sometime this summer. But we do have this year. We do have a lot of rallies that we go to as far as for the trailers. Also, the fiberglass RV rallies. We do that. We'll be doing that in California, and then we go to Oregon, and we're going to be going up into Olympic National Park, and you know, traveling up into Washington and doing that this year too. So we're pretty much planned up for that part. We'll see how it goes. We do want to come east after we get done end of July, so we'll see if we can make it out.
There's also an LDMA camp up in Athens, Michigan. So.
Oh, no kidding.
Cool.
Yeah.
As a member there, you could stay there 6 months if you wanted to. And, head down, visit us, and head down to Georgia to the Loud Mine, or to North Carolina to Vane Mountain, which are both really nice camps.
Yep.
Yeah.
Might as well, while you're gypsies, why get a house? Just travel.
That's the whole plan. Well, we have to have, if we're going to be in Arizona and going to be residents here, we have to have a place to live. So.
Right.
It just can't be a camper.
No. So we're looking for property and that kind of stuff right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're traveling around, it wouldn't be bad for to come up here and bring your dredge. And in Ohio, you're allowed a 4-inch.
You have fun. Yeah, I just happen to have an old Proline 4-inch sitting there at the house.
There you go.
You know, it's still sitting there. I've still been saving it, hoping someday I can go dredging in California again.
Well,
But-
unfortunately,
I know.
with the way that looks,
Yeah.
and Oregon's going the way of the dodo bird on that too. So
Yeah, exactly. And all of Europe just sits over there laughing at us, laughing at California, because over there they know dredging is beneficial for the rivers. And so a lot of the people that I know overseas, you know, their governments are just like going, Californians.
Yeah. We say that here too.
Yeah, I do too, and I lived there, you know.
yeah, I say that now, and I was a native there also.
Yeah, that's too bad Oregon's going the same way, but you know.
Well, you know, unfortunately, that kind of stuff spreads. It winds up coming this
Well, you
way.
know, I had 49er Mike stop in here the other day and say hello. He you know, I mean, like I said, it was the Tom Ashworth site, then it went to the 49er Mike site, and then he moved on, and then the site ended up going down. But anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. He actually stopped in here and said hello here at Stanton here last week. So
Are the 49ers, they're still in operation?
Are you
Oh, okay.
thinking of
Oh.
new 49ers?
Yeah, that's what
In
I'm
yeah,
thinking.
new
Happy
49ers, they're
Camp?
still in
Oh,
operation
yeah.
too. Yeah.
They're
I actually belong to them also.
good old the Mac.
Yeah,
Yep.
Dave. Yeah.
They've been cracking.
And Mike and Dave were good friends, so you know they worked together, you know, overseas and so on, you know.
So, so what kind of job did you have before you?
What did I
retired?
have?
Yeah. What did you do
As far as
for a
retirement?
living?
Well, basically, my gold mining, you know, from the past is my retirement, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
It pays my, you know.
Oh, okay.
I
Gotcha.
do have retirement. I worked for Sierra Pacific for 25 years. I do have retirement there that I will be eligible to take when I'm old enough to die here. Well, that's actually next year, I guess. Now I'm getting pretty old.
No,
So
you
yeah, I've
gotta
got
wait to
retirement
go.
from there, timber operators, that kind of stuff too. Because I worked for Sierra Pacific for a long time, also as a boiler engineer or boiler, and then just a machine operator and all kinds of stuff. So
Cool.
Yeah.
So now you're just relaxing and trying to make it.
yeah, I ended up. Yeah, I was on my way. You know what? Well, California I worked at a fiberboard plant, and what happened was January 1st, 2012, they made it illegal to use formaldehyde to make board or anything in the state of California anymore. And so all the plants and everything moved out of there. It's like, California did their best to retire me. So in 2011, November, when they got ready to shut the plant down before the first of 2012, I just went ahead and retired because there were people that needed work there more than I did, because I did have my mining income. And,
Right.
fortunately, I did the right thing when I was younger, and I was able to go ahead and retire off my mining because, I hit the right spots at the right time. And so
Yep.
my retirement right now is from something that I did over 20 years ago and some stuff that I found and got running, and that's where we're at today.
And now you're just cashing in.
Exactly.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, it works.
Ain't
It
nothing wrong
works
with
for me.
that. That's right. Ain't nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that.
And I've got, like I said, I still have retirement. I just haven't taken it yet. I have to be at least 59 and a half before I take it, and that'll be,
Right.
a little over a year.
Well, and at 59 and a half, you're going to lose some of it. You can
Well,
wait.
according to the 401k people, I mean, my timber operators council, once I turn 59 and a half, I get 100%.
Oh, well, hurry up.
So, from them. I mean, I won't be taking Social Security or nothing like that. So,
Right.
but yeah, that was what I thought was really cool, was that yeah, up until 59.5, you're getting, 50 to 80%. And now, this next year when I'll be,
Gotcha.
100%. So we'll see how that goes. And like she said, you might as well take it now instead of waiting because you're going to save amount of money every month regardless. So,
Right.
I went through the same thing a few years back, about 8 years ago now, I think. When I retired, I retired from Chrysler. They offered me a package to retire early, full benefits, full everything, medical, everything. I retired about when I was 61. So
well, that's nice.
That was good.
Yeah, that works.
Well, in fact, I got supplement pay until I turned 62 when I was eligible for Social Security. They paid that difference up until I was 62. So
nice.
it's still half of what I used to make, so that kind of sucks. But
yeah, I won't be anything near what I used to make, but it's still retirement.
Right, it's still better than nothing.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much how it is for me. It's like, I worked and then I got my job taken away by the state of California, and then I dredged. And then I got my dredging job, retirement taken away from the state of California.
Right.
And so as far as I'm concerned, I'm in Arizona now.
There you
You
go.
gotta do what you gotta do, right?
I don't blame you a bit.
Now, back to your channel a little. On my Facebook post, Dan Zoller, he's a Hangtown resident from California. And he was bringing up your videos or was it Dan that asked you when you're going to be making some, or Randy, Scotty, Tony?
I think it was Dan.
Yeah, so when do you plan on start releasing more videos?
Well, I put out some here and there, even still right now. And what I've been doing lately here is waiting for a nice clear blue day because I want to have, got to have the right temperature settings and stuff outside, the right look for the camera and so on. And the thing I've found here in Arizona is there's a lot of wind. And so I have to wait for one of those days when the wind isn't out there, so you're not just hearing that in the background, So I'm actually waiting to do that video on my Gold Hog right now. Yeah. And so I've been waiting for the right day to go ahead and do that because I'm not sitting down the bottom of a canyon in California anymore where I'm not going to have any wind problems. So I'm here and I just have to wait until I have a day where I can actually speak and not, just be having to dub it all out later. So that's what I'm doing. And then, with YouTube, I'm still redoing my channel and still changed my movies out because how many years ago was it now that they changed all the WMV formats to widescreen? So I just looked like this great big wide person, and it's totally out of the aspect ratio. They changed it on that. So I had done all my movies in WMV and I had like 100 movies on there. So I've been going back and redoing them all, and to the format that's, current today and putting them on there.
That explains it.
Yeah.
There you
and
go,
that's what happened. Yeah.
We
that's
were
pretty much
talking about
maybe
that.
Stop.
Really.
It's because, they changed the formats and screwed up a lot of people's videos, and mine was one of them. And so I just go through and I take the videos that are worth putting back out there, or a series, that's worth putting back out there, and then I reformat it and I put it back out there, Yeah. And so, but now go ahead.
I remember watching your how to build a dredge video, and it was in 3 parts. And then I watched and I saw it again. I went back to your page here recently, and I looked at it again. And it's all 1 part, and it's
all 1 part. I shortened it up, took some stuff out.
Yeah, cut stuff.
Add a little music in there. It's like it's nice that. I mean, wasn't liking the fact that they changed the aspects on the old ones, but then it gave me time to go back and redo them and make them better and edit them a little bit more, because I still have all the old footage, and I probably have at least 20 or 30 movies just sitting on the computer right now that I haven't edited to put on there because I'm out here in the sticks. I just really don't have a place or the time to do them. So that's what's been going on there. And I mean, they do have wide, if I want to try that, and that's one of the things I want to try doing. But once I get the next video filmed, I'll go ahead and edit out another series at the same time, and I'll go in there and I'll see if how fast I can upload it, because, you know, if you're on a good high-speed connection, you can upload a couple gigs in like 4 or 5 minutes, you know, or at my house for years, even though I had, you know, high speed for AT&T, that was like 3 gigs, you know, 3 gigs a minute, and it would take like 24 hours to upload a 2 gig video. So that was another reason, was the amount of time. And of course, if something happened, you know, you'd have to go back and do it again. So, you know, I started cutting them down, make them shorter to where hopefully they'd be, you know, done in 8 to 10 hours. And then I went down to my sister-in-law's house, and I uploaded a video in like 30 seconds.
The Gold Panner in the room says, Reed's Yuba mining experience part 1 video is a great one. Be nice to get part 2.
Yeah, that is. That's a good video. Yeah. That's actually, you know, it was North Yuba Mining, and that wasn't even me on mine. I put it on the channel because it sat there. We had them forever and bought the videos back a day, and I tried getting a hold of the people, and, you know, it's just another great dredging video, you know.
Yeah.
And I've got more of those to put up. I just haven't done it. In fact, I've got a lot of historical videos that I'm trying to, you know, put on there too, but I've got to get back to the house and get them, then convert them, you know.
Yeah, I like your historical stuff. That's cool. I'm into that quite a bit.
Cool.
Get about that time, Ed?
Yeah, about that time.
We'll go ahead. I'll go there.
Let's do a quick commercial break for one of our sponsors. Give us a little bit. We'll be right back. Reed must be kissing Karen right now.
So, okay, here's one question we like to ask everybody when we can. We remember.
Go back on.
What's been your scariest time out there?
I've had a number of scary occasions over the years.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, when I was dredging, we had a boulder come down. I kept telling, you know, for years you try and get the right mining partner, you know, and every now and again you get one that works great and he's good people, but does some dangerous stuff. And this happened a couple times with different people, but he was undermining a boulder. And, you know, I'm like, come on, we got to just move the boulder. All we got to do is just hook the cable up to it, and we'll just go ahead and move the boulder. He's like, oh, almost there, almost there. And so finally I was just like, said, no, that's it. We got it. You know, I can't let him just be underneath that boulder anymore. So then I pulled him out of there, and no sooner did I get him out of there, the boulder went down. You know, that was one of them. Another time we were working on this shelf, and we had this huge wall of bedrock above us, and it was kind of hanging out. And, you know, I just kept thinking, it was going to fall, like it wasn't stable. This is like a piece of bedrock, probably, you know, anywhere from 6 inches at the top to come out to maybe 1.5 feet thick, you know, kind of rounded, you know. And I was like, you know, we got to get out of here. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, okay, let's see what's going on. I said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a screwdriver up there, and I'm just going to go ahead and, you know, tap it once, you know, with a hammer and see if that thing will break off. And so I actually climbed up on top of this rock, and I stuck no sooner did I get the screwdriver in the hole, and I just hit it the one time that the whole thing went down, and the whole mountainside just came down and just went out from underneath us.
Yikes!
And yeah,
That'd be
yeah,
scary.
it was scary, but you know, at least we knew what was going to happen. You know, you could see that the piece just wasn't stable, and we got it out of the way. You know, and stuff like that happens all the time. Another time,
One of the
I
reasons
had the
you don't
airline
go out
break
by
down the
yourself.
dredge. Yeah, we were down deep, and I looked up, and the back of the dredge was underwater like this, and so it was starting to come down. You know, and when I got up there, it was full of gold and lead, you know, and everything else. We just filled that whole gold dredge up with lead and gold. It was just crazy. And it was that much weight on the back of that dredge that the whole thing, all the ripples, the whole ripple section was lead and nuggets and gold.
Wow.
So, yeah,
I could only
it was
dream.
just amazing. It took us a long time. We had to dig it out and clean it underwater and get the stuff out of it first before we get it raised back up to where it would float again, because it was that much weight on top of those floats. And that was with those 4 15-gallon drums in the back. So you can imagine that was a lot of weight that took that thing down underneath. You know, it was horrible.
Terrible.
Terrible Terrible thing to handle.
I wish I had
Go
that
by
problem.
dredge. What the heck?
Yeah, we actually almost sank the dredge completely because of gold and you know, heavy metals.
Oh, terrible. Terrible. You need to pay more attention to what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That probably call for a little more cleanouts, a little more often.
Yeah. Well, we hadn't been down there. We'd been down there quite a while, and we were 30 feet down. We were way down there. So, I mean, I was running twin 9-horsepower motors. We had 30 feet of hose, or no, we had 50 feet of dredge hose, because we had to have the hose going back up out of this hole. And so we were way down and way forward at the bottom of this hole, because you can only go 32 feet, depending on the elevation and in depth when you're dredging. And I think back then we were still using a T80, you know? And so, you know, you take a breath and you hold it and get as much as you can out of it, you know, and wait for him to breathe, you know. It wasn't that bad, but it was close. But yeah, so that was funny. It would take forever to get up out of that hole and go up top, because you're so deep, you had to come up in stages, you know, otherwise, you know, you're going to go ahead and get the bends, or at least give yourself a real headache. You know?
That had to have been at what, Hollywood Boulevard?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we got down there to the bottom of that hole, and we got down to bedrock, and there was this just crystallized gold all over the place. Crystalline gold and nuggets, and it was in quartz, and there was quartz veins, and you know, we just got caught up in the moment, and you could see all the fishing weights too, and there was nuggets and everything. The river came down where it was really skinny, you know, and it just opened up in this giant hole, and we were just right there at the top where it came down and opened up. And once we got down to the bottom, it was just a madhouse for gold down there.
Yeah, you got all focused on what was down there and forgot that all that was going to be up in your dredge.
Well, and because we were probably going through maybe 10 or 15 feet of cobble too, so we had this cobble pile wanting to come in and you know, and cave in on us all the time. So we had the dredge sitting back there, and the hose, the nozzle, just, you know, taking the cobble pile down and moving it back more and more and more, slowly but surely. And as it would uncover more, we would just go ahead and pick it up off the ground, and we got all kinds of gold out of there. But that was, you know, it was actually a really scary moment. And then my partner ended up not being able to go back down that deep anymore. It hurt his ears too much, you know. He couldn't pop his ears when he got down that deep. So,
yeah, you're down 30 feet. Yeah,
we're down 30 feet. Yeah, and you got, you know, down 30 feet with, you know, 70, 80 pounds of weight on, you know, it's hard to get back up out of there, especially when you got, you know, cobbles like this wanting to slide down. You're trying to climb up them as they're going down, you know.
Right.
Yeah, it was difficult. So we ended up having to, you know, drop a weight belt in the bottom of the hole and go out that way, you know. That was one thing I always did. I wore 2 weight belts, you know, 30 pounds a piece, or, you know, 40 pounds a piece, depending on what you have for current. You know, I'd have the one weight belt on with a harness in my air. Then I'd have a secondary with just on the belt itself that I'd wrap around and hook it on. And then when they needed to go up, all I had to do is just take the top belt and drop it off. And with the other one, I had it weighted just enough to where it would give me enough to where I could just shoot down to the bottom and grab that belt and put it on at the very bottom of the river. So that's how we did that.
Were you talking about that weight belt? You know, I was talking earlier about the Whitewater show with Fred Hurt. He went down and he couldn't hold his head down in this current. So what he did, he took two 20-pound weights on a strap and put them around his neck. Just strapped him over his neck so he could keep his head underwater, because it was just the current was so strong, it just kept popping him up. So I'm going. Yeah,
I've had current that strong too, where if you stick your head up out of the hole, it just rips your face mask and air and everything right off you. So you have to stay down in the hole and dig yourself away to the place from the very edge of the bank. You know. Yeah.
That was crazy, but he did it. The old man did it. 71 years old, down there dredging. You know, that white water.
Cool. Yeah, Fred's good people. You know, he is. I'd love to see that one of these days when it comes on and I can see it on YouTube or something. You know, we'll see it then, hopefully.
So far it's been okay. Just a little too much drama. You know, like I said earlier.
Television.
Yeah,
that's the TV
television
for you. Yeah.
Fast forward to the good parts where he's down there dredging.
Right. That's what's nice about recording.
Yeah.
Scroll. Fast forward to the gold.
Yeah, I have friends that'll put them on DVR for me, and I'll go there and watch them and that kind of stuff. But they're all in California, so I haven't seen them for a while.
So do you smelt your own gold, or do you just sell it the way it is?
It depends. You know, a lot of the times, for years we worked in the hydraulic fields, and so we would get, you know, that powder gold that was always covered in mercury, like out of the old sluice box. I did in my hydraulic mining video. We got tons of gold out of there, and it was all in mercury that the miners of the 1800s had lost. You know, and so we go ahead and I would retort the gold, you know, in the mercury, and then go ahead and make miners buttons out of them. And then I also have an oven too. And then I have, you know, a friend who's an assayer, and he did a few buttons for me also. And so yeah, we pretty much melt our own stuff. And what I've done in the past is I'd melt it into buttons, and I just turn around. And I used to sell it on eBay, you know, and that way I'd keep it and I could go ahead and turn it in for taxes when I was selling my gold.
You ever sell pay dirt or anything like that?
No, I never did pay dirt. I sold a lot of, you know, quite a few nuggets. Some, you know, nice large nuggets too. So, and that was always fun. I've had my share of nuggets in my lifetime, and, you know, I've been pretty lucky on that. So, you know, yeah, some of them sold for a lot of money.
You're in the right spot.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like, I found a lot of gold in my life, and, you know, I can still remember that day when, you know, gold finally hit $300 an ounce. Woohoo! $300. You know?
Oh yeah.
And I went ahead and I sold like 1.5 pounds or something like that, you know. Ever since then, I've been kicking myself.
I was in Colorado when that hit 300. I was in Colorado, up in Idaho Springs. Yeah. But I wasn't in the gold. I couldn't believe it. I wasn't in the gold at all. Even though I was hanging out with my friend who was working a gold mill, crushing up the ore, the old tailings. Even though, and I saw gold and even picked a nugget up. I've told my buddies this story. I picked it up, you know. Oh, the owner said, yeah, that's a gold nugget, and I put it back. You know, he wasn't going to let me take it. He said, that's a gold nugget, put it back. So I put it back in the sluice. I got to watch that operation, you know, where they crushed it in a ball mill and then ran it through a sluice and watch gold happen. But yeah, I wasn't into it, you know. That was not what I was into back then.
Now, is most of your experience all placer, or do you have any load mining experience?
I've got a load mine also. Yeah.
Okay. Now you were using that Sierra Blaster for a little bit on some videos. You'd use that in your load operation, or would you use it to split boulders, to move boulders?
Yeah, that too.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, both Sierra Blaster is a good machine, and that's what we did. We'd go ahead, and the plan, we got the mine all opened up, and to go back in there and blast it and do this and that. We had assayers in there and geologists, and they're just like, wow, go for it, you know. And it ended up, it just never materialized. You know, we wanted to do it, but that was, you know, 2013, and, you know, all hell broke loose, and my life kind of just went haywire that year. You know, I mean, it was a great year because I met Karen that year in March of 2013. And then we just had some serious family tragedies. And then that was the year I had my accident too, and it took me out for a couple of years. And then my mining partner was, you know, had stage 4 cancer, and he was, you know, diagnosed with stage 4 cancer in 2013 also. So it's like everything that we wanted to do to get into the mine, we had it all open and ready to go. And here we are ready. And, you know, next thing you know, I'm mowed my car up to go to Texas because my kid broke his neck and is a quadriplegic now outside of Houston. And everything just kind of fell apart. So we never got a chance to go back into the mine. It's still in the plan. It's still in the works. And Paul, my mining partner, he, you know, made it through the cancer. He, you know, battled it, and he made it. You know, made it back from stage 4. Pretty
Excellent.
cool. And then of
Very
course
cool.
we've come back from the accident, and I'm doing okay now, a lot better than I was. I can still have separated ribs. Right here, I have a hole in my chest that I can just stick my finger right in. You know, where the rib cage used to be. You know, and
Don't do that.
So yeah, we really 2013 was just a phenomenally serious year, and you know, yeah, I've recovered from it as good as I can now, and Paul's recovered from there, and our plans are to go ahead and do that. Then I still have, you know, my placer mine over on the middle fork of the Yuba River, and I've got gold over there that I need to go get too. But then Karen and I just kind of, you know, we kind of started kicking our heels in retirement and traveling all over the place, and we're just having fun, you know. And so I actually went out beach mining last year for the first time up there on the Oregon beach, and you know, we got good gold up there, and I really got hooked on beach mining. Yeah, the quantity that I used to get in California, you know, when I was dredging, it's not there, but boy, I'm telling you, beach mining is a lot of fun, you know, when you're getting gold right there off the beach. The waves are coming in, you know, the whales are going by, and you're just like, wow, what a beautiful place. And it's just really an incredible thing to get gold on the beach, you know. So right there in Oregon, that's what we've been doing. My mother-in-law lives right there, like 5 miles from where I go gold mining on the beach. And that's become one of my favorite pastimes too, is just going ahead and getting in there. And when we're up in Oregon or over on the beach, to go ahead and take a pan here and there, or, you know, hopefully we'll get up into Washington to where I can go ahead and get this micro sluice set up to where we can use it right on the beach too. And I also have the gold cube.
Yeah, they've opened
Yeah.
up several beaches in Washington to beach mining. So
Yeah, definitely take that dream mat into that sand.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
Unfortunately for me, being a gold miner and having been around for the last, since what, 98 or whatever it was, when I joined the Ashworth site or whatever it was, you know, or GPAA, you know, back in the day, you know, back in the 90s, got on the internet. Man, is it gray yet? I got a lot of friends. So I got a lot of friends all over the U.S., and most of them are mining, you know, gold mining buddies. So that's what we ended up doing. I ended up going over there, and we'll go gold mining together and just have a blast, you know. And
Oh, heck yeah.
that's my life, and I'm just really enjoying it.
excellent.
Oh,
It's funny. I have
Go
one of my
ahead.
mining buddies. One of my mining buddies up in Oregon lives 2 blocks from my mother-in-law's house, so we're just like right there, you know. So we're always getting together and having dinner, and then and when we get up there at the right time of year, when the weather's right and the black sands are out there on the beaches, we'll go out there and we get some gold, you know.
love the gold.
Yeah.
And
It's funny down here in Arizona that the geology is so similar to California. And, you know, I've only been here looking for gold, you know, for a couple of weeks. And, you know, I'm successful, of course, you know, on the small stuff so far. And I got a little picker, you know, nothing serious. But I'm thinking, you know, once I get out and test these new spots that I found here, that I'm going to be starting to get some nuggets because I found a spot that actually has exposed bedrock, and you know, I just can't wait to get out there with a jackhammer and start breaking loose that black channel. You know, they call it down here the black channel. I used to call it the blue channel. It's hard for me not to say blue now that I'm in Arizona because now it's black down here in Arizona. You know, and I'm just like, oh, I'm just itching to go out there and do that, man.
Explain to us what the what blue channel and black channel is.
The blue lead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the blue lead in California basically is, you know, it's just an ancient tertiary gravel channel. Okay. And at the very bottom, you have your red up above, and, you know, then as you work your way down, you got these black concentrated, wrapped in clays, black channel. And it's just really, you know, it's like cement. You know, you watch my hydraulic mining video, you can bring it up on there, and it tells you all about the different channels and how they work and what the black channel looks like. But the thing is, the black channel, when you're down here in Arizona, if it hasn't rained, and if, you know, if it's in the middle of the summer, the black channel, it's a iron rich channel, and so it will rust and it will look a deep red color.
I see here in Ohio, in Ohio, it is that red layer that we find the golds in. It's like a red rusty layer of till. Yeah. And it's got gold in it here in Ohio. Most places we.
Well, there's a red layer here too, but then you go down deeper, and it actually it's a black layer, and it seriously is black when you have the oxidized, you know, red rust off the top of it. So yeah, if you go down there in the wintertime and in California, you see the blue lead. It's actually really, really deep midnight blue, and you know, then down here, from what I've seen so far, you can still see the midnight. You can still see the black, what they call out here, but you'll have red all over around it because we haven't had enough rain down here to turn the whole thing black and wash all the iron off of it.
Right, oxidized up, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, here in Ohio, it's all brought down from the glaciers, and usually it's the brown layer. You get in that brown layer, it's a hard pack, kind of hard to get apart, takes you a little bit to get through it, and that's where you usually find your better gold at.
Yeah, exactly. And you get to the right spots, you find yourself that black channel, and you find the middle of the black channel, you know, to where the gold line is, because still, just like in a river, you're going to have a gold line, and you find that gold line in a black channel, and you start digging there, and you start doing really good.
Right.
That's my plan. I want to start doing really good again on that. You know?
Heck yeah.
On that next strike. I'm always wanting to go to that next strike, you know?
There you go. That next big strike. Hey, let me open up the phone lines and see if we could get some calls in here.
What's that phone number?
What's that phone number?
419-741-4090.
Call now. The phone lines are open.
An operator will be standing by.
Yep. An operator will be standing by.
The lines are busy. Call back again.
Yeah. And this phone line's been brought to us by our friends down at Carolina Gold Prospectors. So
we appreciate that.
Carolina, huh?
We should sit here and wait for phone calls.
Yeah. And I was sitting down there in North Carolina this last year. I should have got gold while I was there, you know.
There's gold there, that's for sure. I know next time I go down, I'm not going to be exploring as much. I did a lot of we did a lot of lookabouts. Jesse and I went down there. Dana was there too. We explored probably more than we should have. Instead of getting on the property we could work, but nonetheless we had a really good time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like exploring.
Had a blast down there, really. We even made videos from it.
You know, I like prospecting for gold too, but you know, I wind up looking around first. You know,
first time down there, had to check it out.
That's how we work. Aaron and I this year, we were over there in North Carolina, and yeah, we went all around. My, you know, Mildy, he got in a truck and just took us around and showed us all kinds of neat places, you know, and showed us where he used to dredge and so on down there. And then went down to South Carolina, saw John, and he took us all around Charleston, where he was living at now, and just beautiful areas back there. I'd never been back east before, and that was just an amazing experience.
The Tasmanian Gold Rush from Australia, Dave, he wants to know, does anyone know if the blue channel he is talking about is the same as what I was showing in one of my videos? The best I could tell him as an answer is to go watch your video, right?
Yeah. You go watch my hydraulic mining videos. It's actually in a playlist. You go ahead and go to my channel, then hit playlists, and you'll see hydraulic mining, the series, and watch that series. It'll teach you all about the blue channel and what to look for, and you'll see the whole thing.
Well, it is kind of a bluish clay layer, right? Or is it?
It's like, actually, yeah, you know, when the hydraulic miners, you know, were hydraulicking in California or wherever, the first thing they would do is go in and drill and dynamite and blast it so you could break up that hard channel enough to where you could, you know, then, you know, put 10,000 gallons a minute behind a hydraulic nozzle and break it up even more to put through a sluice box to get the gold out of it. You know, you had to bust it up. So you had to go in there and blast it first to get it into little enough pieces to where you could wash it into smaller pieces to get to go through the sluice box. So that's why they lost so much gold. And a lot of that, what I found is that, you know, here we are, you know, 100 years later, the stuff that they washed up and put down into the rivers, well, it's been sitting there for 100 years now. And the clay that's surrounding the gold, a lot of it got softened up. And so you can go down there if you know where the blue channel was, and you're going to get a lot more gold out of there now because, number one, the hydraulic miners lost a lot of gold out of there and a lot of mercury too, because we know they weren't the cleanest. You know, back in the 1800s, they didn't know about what was going on. And so, you know, and if you know the right spots and you find the right places, or you find old sluice box like I did, you'll see in that video, you can clean house, man. You know, we went down there and got pounds of gold out of the old sluice box. What had happened is the channel was there and they were mining it, and then they had two hydraulic mines, and one was up above, the other one way upstream, and they had a big flood that year, and they never had a chance to get the gold and the riffles, you know, clean before the flood came in, and all the tailings from the mine above washed down and covered this mine that we were working at under 40 feet of tailings. And I mean, they tried for years to get down there, and, you know, here you have an 800-foot sluice box, and it's just, you know, now buried under 40 feet. And I've got all that in that video where it actually became uncovered. And then when the water came back up and took the whole thing out, you know, but between the time of getting it out and getting the gold out, we went down and got gold out of there. We got all kinds of gold out of those riffles. So we popped them loose, and there was all kinds of gold down there.
They never got a chance to clean them out, huh?
Oh, I did.
That'd be amazing.
No.
The
miners.
Oh, the miners never had a chance. Yeah. That was just, there was too much, you know, and at different times, different places, you know, this flood, it put 100 to 200 feet of tailings over the top of different mining operations.
Wow.
There was that much. And, you know, that's the thing. You watch a hydraulic mining video, and like I said, I did my best to pass all my knowledge on in my videos, and that's what I've done. And that one really there, it's probably my pièce de résistance, you know, the one that teaches us the most about gold mining, what to look for in the hydraulic area. That's a good series on that.
I watched that a few years ago. We have a phone call. Hey, how you doing, Hook?
How you doing there, Mr. Ed, Jess, and Dano, and Mr. Reed?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. You was hitting on a note that I like to hear with dredging when you're in the water or just the materials and the layers. Here in Indiana, I've got several properties that are spaced over 5 counties. And each county, different layers have different amounts of gold, and whether you can find gold in them or not. So what you was just talking about definitely caught my interest. And as Dano and them was saying, in the reddish brown layer, you'll find a lot of gold. It's usually here in Indiana, it's usually flower gold. But then when you get into that black layer, then you get into that bluish gray looking, wild looking color. In a couple of my properties, that's when you start finding really good gold. But in some of the counties, you won't find nothing when you hit those layers. So, you know, I mean, because of placer gold, of course, but
yeah, it all depends on where it was deposited.
Yep.
You know, that's the thing. You might go down and find a black channel, but it all depends on what part of the river the black channel was in, if the gold's going to be there or not.
Yeah, but now, like in the county I live in, Decatur County, there's several creeks that have gold in them, and one of them being Clifty Creek. When you hit the black layer there, you'll find gold, but you won't hardly find nothing in the brown layer. And just a couple miles away in the flat rock, you know, it's just the opposite. So, you know, I mean, how much of that have you experienced?
Quite a bit. Yeah, there's spots where the brown layer, it's, you know, mostly finds the small stuff, maybe, you know, pinky finger and smaller, you know, down to really, really fines. And if you get really good gold out of there, you know, and pretty much from what most I've done, I've gone through the tailings from the 1800s sluice boxes that we had out here, and I did really good. And that's what I did for years. Was we had a couple mines, you know, here outside of where my, you know, up out of, you know, Dutch Flat, and the owners of the mine and the property, they had me come out there, and they'd allow me to dredge, you know, up the sluice box and help them work the sluice boxes and stuff. And a lot of them were making good livings just off the sluice box tailings. You know, here we are 100 years later, and they're making wages, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, well, I've done good. And then years before, I used to work the channel myself years before. Yeah.
What was that?
I used to work the channel years before.
Easier than they did back then, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when gold's worth a lot more money nowadays, it's not stuck at $35 an ounce anymore. Yeah.
Right.
And Reed, another question for you. I custom build dredges, and I love goat hog and matting, and my dredges are set up 100% adjustable from the pitch of the power jet flare, sluice, everything's completely adjustable, plus the motors could be moved depending on how you adjust. What kind of matting, I know you haven't been dredging a whole lot here lately, but when you dredge or high bank, what do you prefer, and do you like to tweak on your stuff and adjust due to the environment you're within?
Yeah, I do. I'll tweak it to the environment exactly where I'm at. And right now, I just picked up some of the Dream mat, you know, and I want to try that in my high banker. And then I've still got my trommel at the house. It's a 8-foot trommel, and you know, with the Gold Hog, you know, has really revolutionized the industry as far as I'm concerned. And so I pretty much this year just switched exclusively to Gold Hog matting. Where used to be back in the day, for all those years when I was dredging California to 2009, you know, I'd use miner's moss over, you know, ribbed carpet or just over V-mat, you know. And then, of course, I made my own riffles. And that's How to Build a Gold Dredge video shows that. And I actually made my own set of dovetail riffles for my 6-inch dredge. And the dovetails really were good. I always went with an over-under, you know, or a triple side-by-side. But my over-under was it's a phenomenal dredge. The gold drops down, you know, into the lower layer. Then all I have down there is this carpet with expanded metal over it. There's no riffles. There's no need for it. You just have to have your height set high enough to where it's going to take all the the light sands off and let them go, and all the gold just sits right there at the head of the box underneath, and then up top for catching nuggets and so on, and the stuff that if you're running really fast and hogging it, and it's going over the top riffles. I have the dovetail riffles in there now, and which is it's like a flat riffle like this, and then it has a bend coming back, and so the water's coming this way, and the stuff gets trapped and starts circling, in the dovetail, and that really actually works really good. I saw that Bob Dalkey had that on his dredges for a long time. I think he probably still does. Not Bob. Bob passed away, but the person who has Dalkey now, if they're still in business, the dovetails are really nice. And we looked at the dovetails that Bob had. And we made a few adjustments for our 6-inch as far as pitch and tilt of all the different angles to where it really just collects the gold, and that was, all I can say is have you used dovetails, and if you haven't, try it out.
Yes, I have, and you keep talking about 6-inch. Well, in Indiana, you're not allowed to have anything over a 5-inch at the nozzle. But you can run as big as a hose or power jet and everything you want. I've got
cool.
a 6-inch too. Well, actually, I own several dredges. But so if you ever get up this way, just hook up with me, and
I will.
I'll put my number in the video, and because like Ed and everybody said, around Indiana, there are several places in Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, GPA. I mean, there's just all kinds of different stuff, and
cool.
Placer gold. Not all the rules apply to placer gold prospecting as they do in vein territories, I guess you can call it, because it's just a totally different ball game. And with a few of your videos I have seen, it would be a great addition to your stuff. And it's been nice talking to you, Ed, Dano, Jess, everybody. Nice to hear from you. Hope everybody gets feeling better, and till then, y'all have fun. I'll let some other people call in. He just hit one of the notes. You guys know I love water. I'm a dredger. That's my favorite thing, although I've got trommel, high bankers, everything, but
cool.
Dredging's my thing. Put me in the water.
Yeah, me too. I love it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Yep. So, all right. So y'all take care, and all right, and hope to see all of you real soon. Y'all take care, and let's get ready for this spring coming up.
Coming,
yes,
brother.
sir.
Spring's
Yes,
coming.
sir. All righty.
Thanks.
Yes.
Take care, man. Nice talking to you.
All right. Bye.
Take it easy.
Good night, Huck. Thanks for calling, bud.
Yeah, he's got a few properties that he dredges there in southern Indiana. That's some old.
That sounds interesting.
Old wagon trails that on one of his properties, and do a lot of good metal detecting, fossils. All that good stuff we look at.
And you do decent in Indiana. The private creek I'm hitting right now, we're getting some decent flakes and a lot of nice little fly poop.
Cool.
Doing pretty good.
Almost got your trip paid for?
Working on it, buddy. Between the two of us, we've got like 5.5 now.
Ooh,
all right.
Getting there. Adding up. A nice place on No Tell 'em Creek.
Isn't that sad, Reed? We have to work so hard just to get gas money to take a little trip prospecting. And we have to work like fools to get 6-7 grams just for gas money.
That's right, man.
But we're going.
Hollywood Boulevard always paid for me,
We're going. That's all I'm saying. We're going. We're committed.
That's right. Yeah. Now, is that glacial back there mostly, or is it just...
It's all glacial.
Yeah, we're all glacial, yeah. All glacial.
Yeah, our gold is from Canada.
I'm going to have to see that one of these days, for sure.
Oh, dude, you need to stop up here in this area and just,
I do.
Old, eh?
Like I said, Karen and I plan on doing the northern states, and that'll be... We'll definitely have to
Gold Rush Days
keep in touch and do all that.
Time. Gold Rush Days.
You said that's end of September?
Labor Day weekend every year.
First weekend of September.
All kinds of people there. All kinds.
All right.
It's on the Swank West property. Look in your guide, the Swank West.
Yep.
Belleville,
Belleville.
Ohio. The Swank East is a good property too, but camping is more sparse, and it's
More primitive.
very primitive compared to the West Swank. West
Yeah.
Swank, the Buckeye chapter keeps it immaculate. It's the jewel of the East Coast.
And it's September 3rd
Oh.
is when it is.
Yep.
Okay.
It's a nice,
So the
it's,
first
you know,
weekend, the first September 3rd. Okay, so that's the first week of September. All right.
right. First weekend of September.
Big event. A lot of people there, a lot of vendors,
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a real
We'll
good
have to write
time.
that down.
All the
Yeah.
dredging
Yeah.
you can handle for that day, for our area.
Heck yeah, I hope so.
We
That'd
got a
be
lot
fun.
of YouTubers really wanting to make it this year. We got quite a few that say they want to be there this year. Different
Right.
people.
Yeah, we all want to be there. You know, that's how it is.
We have a good. Last year we had a fish fry. I don't know if Ed and Jesse. Did you guys get in on that over at Dick Goldsmith's trailer?
No, Mr. Dick Goldsmith did not invite
Oh
us to
man,
his fish
that
fry.
fish fry was something else.
You know, we were selling dream mats and demoing gold
Gold
claws.
claws. Yep.
and
Yep.
I don't want to work that way.
I don't want to
when
work
I'm
it
there.
again.
I don't want to
Don't
work
want-
that way. I want to work
No.
in the water,
I
not
know,
in
me
a
too.
booth. Good.
Right.
Even though I have fun doing it, but
Well,
Sure.
what really sucked last year was I had that brand new speed banker that I wanted to run
and we
wasn't
never
able
got to use it.
No. The speed banker is a design that was built for the Dream Mat.
Yeah.
It's a 12-inch, and I got the regular Dream Mat and the concentrator mat. And we're gonna run the crap out of them this summer.
Cool.
Work them to death. See how they work.
And I get a help.
Yep, you
Yeah,
do.
you get the help.
That'll be fun.
Uh,
Okay, so I pulled up my calendar, and September 3rd is a Monday. So is that when it starts?
Yeah, well, it starts that weekend before. It starts like from Friday to Monday. Monday's the last
Right,
day. of
Friday
it.
to Monday.
Yep.
So that's,
Okay, so it starts on August 31st then.
Yes. Yes.
There'll
Okay,
there'll
cool.
be people there a week ahead of time.
Put it down right now.
There you go.
Okay, cool.
that'd be awesome to see you down there. We'd have
Heck
fun.
yeah.
Sitting around a campfire telling all kinds of gold stories.
Yeah.
And we can even hook it up to where we could possibly have the same camping area right around each other.
Well, that would be hard to do.
That's what I'm saying. We could even.
Well, we're
work
going to have
it out
our
so we could
trailer,
all-
you know. And what do you guys call this outing?
Gold
Gold
Rush
Rush
Days.
It's called Gold Rush Days. Put on by the Buckeye chapter, GPAA. Supposedly, it's
Oh,
the
cool.
biggest show on the East Coast. It's the biggest show, actually, biggest show period as far as it goes like that.
Right. We're not a trade show, although we do have some vendors.
It's just a bunch of
You know,
outdoor
we're not-
hillbillies.
We got
It's more of a rendezvous.
It is.
it's not your gold show like the GPAA puts out. You know, it's just
Uh-huh.
our chapter that has their annual Gold Rush Days. We invite everybody in and come for the weekend, have some fun.
People
Invite
do demos.
vendors, and
Yep.
I'm sure Carolina Prospectors will be there. Bill Brewer,
Yep.
maybe Martin. He's been up there before. Prospectors Radio and Gold Prospector Space will
Oh, cool.
be there. We have other vendors there like Jack and Donna from Up the Creek Prospecting out of North Carolina. They're there almost every year. One
Right.
year we had, what was it, 3 years ago or so, when the GPAA actually brought their semi in and had some booths up, or was that
Right.
4 years ago?
Uh,
But there's kind of a scuttlebutt that they might even be showing up again. So
yeah.
Oh,
Even
yeah?
at the gold show, I talked to Brandon a little bit about it when we were running the Panam booth there, and he kind of said they were tossing it around.
well, yeah,
That's
because
what they toss it around every year.
there's that
Well, they need to toss a little harder.
I think a lot of it has
Cool.
to do with that chapter summit were started last year.
Right.
Right.
So they also have a chapter summit going on also. But it's a good time and a lot of prospectors from a lot of states. You'd be surprised at how
Yep.
far away they come from. It's
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's
packed.
really
It's
good to have
packed
you.
all weekend. It's packed.
The GPS does their live radio show from there. Do a couple of them that weekend. So that'd be cool. Yeah, we just go down there, tip a few, do a little dredging, you know, do a little
Yeah, have
bullshit.
some fun.
Bull, you know, bull talk.
Heck yeah.
and with a bunch of like-minded people.
Yep.
Exactly.
People that live our same lifestyle.
That's such a wonderful thing to have that lifestyle, you know, and have this lifestyle and be surrounded by people, you know, with the same, you know, outlook on life and the same way of doing things. It's just so incredible. It's just
Right.
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
And you know what's-
It is.
Here's one of the things that I find really interesting. I mean, yes, we're all kind of like-minded for the most part. We all have the same interests.
Mhm.
But how many things can you get into where everybody is basically like you?
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
other than this, it's
Yeah.
just I've been in different organizations, done different things in my life, but I've never had the camaraderie that I do doing this.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I run 99.9% of the people that I run into are friendly and, you know,
Yep.
willing to sit down and talk to you. You always find that one, you know, but
Yep.
you know, but yeah, this is I'm glad I found this after I retired. I wish I'd have found it before, but now that I am, you know, I'm glad.
Them
Yeah.
evenings around the
Yeah,
fire.
I think I
them
enjoy
are
it more
gold.
now.
What was that?
I enjoy it more now that I'm retired. I got more of a chance to get out there and talk to people and you know and learn things still. You know, and
Right.
like I said, I'm a newbie here in Arizona. You know, here I am, brand new. Never had a hold of gold pan. You know, but yeah, I'm here to learn, man. There's so many people out here. It's just awesome. Like I ran into a guy up on the hillside today when I was out looking for a spot, and we started talking. And he started telling me about the old channels here and this and that. And that's how you learn. And everybody's just willing to share their knowledge, and it's just such a great feeling.
And that's like the real gold right there is the fact that,
Really,
that someone like you or even Tasmanian Dave there or Ed, even me sometimes, we're willing to teach. We're willing to show what we know,
Exactly.
you know.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's people that don't want to know anything about what they're doing. You know, they don't want you to know
you
anything.
got to be open to things, you know. I mean, I was walking through a parade, not a parade, but you know, a fairgrounds here a while back where they were having a gold show, and some old guy, you know, was sitting there at the panning booth and, you know, told me he'd teach me how to pan and offered to teach me how to pan. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go ahead, I'll learn. And the guy behind him knew who I was, and it was pretty funny because, you know, he just kind of sat back there and smirked, and he watched this guy teach him how to pan. And so, you know, I got there and I sat there and I shook the pan up a little bit, you know, to where there's everything's still in the pan. It's all still full of gravel. And something like, is that gold right there? You know, and I played it all the way out, you know, and at the very end, he's like, man, just go ahead and swirl it around. So I started swirling. I said, and I was done, you know. And I was like, man, you really not going to do it. You know? Then the guy behind us starts laughing and says, that's Reed Lukens. You were just teaching how to pan. And I said, that was just, it was fun. And yes, we had a good one, you know. And but they did the same to my daughter, and she was a really good panner too. And she got all the gold out and had it all sitting up. The guy was a different time, different person. He's like, oh, I'll teach her how to pan. And so she's like, you mean like this? And she just went, got it all done, tapped it all back, and had all the gold and the line on the top. He goes, well, yeah, that's close. So he went in and took it. And,
that was close.
She's a really good painter, you know what I mean? And he just kind of went back and showed her how to do it his way, which was fun too. So
we have a caller on. Reed, hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Well, this is Thomas from Indiana.
well, hey, Thomas.
Lucky Ducky
Doing, Tom?
Dog
Lucky
Thomas.
Ducky Dog Thomas, as we call this man. Reed, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good, guys. How you guys doing?
Living
All
large.
right.
Good.
Better than I
Good.
was last night. But
That's
we're
still the
getting
same.
better.
Oh, geez. So you all right now?
Good.
You good now?
Well,
He's
not
breathing, by God.
100%, but I'm breathing. I'm here and I'm live. So I'm not dead up in bed, totally sick.
Well, yeah.
And I'll be well enough to work tomorrow. Still got a headache though, but I'm not vomiting. It's that vomiting that gets me.
I'll still
Yeah, I
take
can
the
imagine.
mashed up shin.
Telling the old lady you got a headache, huh? That's a reversal.
So how you doing tonight, Thomas?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. Just sitting back, chilling.
Excellent.
Trying not to do too much of anything.
It's too cold out.
You panning
true.
through all those concentrates you got during the summer?
No, actually, I did most of mine before. I didn't leave myself anything for the winter, so I do have a jar of MDV stuff sitting right here, but I haven't even touched it yet.
Oh well. Are you one of the club members, a monthly club member from MDV?
No,
I'm
I just got it his Christmas special. I think he had a
Oh,
Christmas
I
special
heard
going
that's
on.
good. Dano got a couple of those, I think.
Yeah, that was really good. I was really happy with that.
Yeah.
Thomas, did you go panning last weekend?
No, actually, something came up at the last minute, so I couldn't go. I was planning on going. I had everything packed up,
I
ready
know.
to go.
I saw you posted on there. Hey, anybody want to go panning?
Yeah.
Old Patrick makes it to the creek. He toughs through it, buddy. He goes out there.
Yeah, he was.
Oh,
He
Yeah,
always
it wasn't weather.
sends
It wasn't
me
weather for
videos.
me. It was something else, but it's just one of those things.
You have a
Got a question for
question?
for Reed?
Hello? Well, no, I just not really a question for him. I just wanted to tell him I was a fan. I've looked at his videos for a
Thank
while, and
Cool.
Thank you.
just like most of us, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
I think you do a really good job.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be making more. I try. We went through that little dry spell, and I've got a couple videos I gotta be making here hopefully this next week.
Yeah, we were
Just waiting for
talking
that
about
perfect
that.
day with the perfect weather and no wind.
Yeah.
we were talking about that earlier. How I hadn't gotten any notifications from you in a while about any
Yeah.
videos.
Well, it's probably been a month or so. I can't remember. I put a whole bunch of videos on, and I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago I released like 4 or 5, 6 videos, something like that. It was a whole
Right.
series, but it was another redo, and that was the first time I actually just put down a redo without a new movie to add to it. So yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah, with a
That's
new
what I
trailer,
noticed.
you always got some maintenance and stuff. So I've been making trailer videos about how to do different things on my trailer for different people, and then the company Oliver just is an incredible company. Where the people we bought the trailer from, and they've embraced the stuff that I've done too. Fixing different things on here to make it better, and it's just it's neat because I've been seeing new trailers come out now that have a fix that I helped engineer to put on there.
Right.
Because they're a new company. They've only been in business for like 10 years, so it's pretty cool. So I've been doing a lot of my time's been spent doing that. Then I make videos and send them to them or something like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It was interesting. I had watched a lot of your videos, but I just finally creeped up on the Yuba trip the other day, and I was like, wow, this is really good.
Yeah. That's a good old video. That's an old video. That's from the 90s. You know?
Oh, it's that old.
Oh
Yeah, it's
yeah,
an old
they were
video.
dredging. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
dredging.
Yeah.
Oh. I guess that's how you can tell. Huh? They were dredging.
Yeah. Yeah, it's California. It was old yellow floats, too, and everything.
Yep, sure
You know?
was. Yep. But yeah,
that was
that
good
was
times.
it. I
Good times.
just wanted to kind of call in and talk to you guys and talk to Reed and
Cool.
pretty much call it a day.
Yeah, I'm glad you did, man.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah.
We always appreciate hearing from you, Thomas.
Oh, you know it.
And
Yeah,
I'm
don't
sure
lie.
we'll see you this coming season.
Oh, you will somewhere. I'm sure we'll see
Somewhere.
each other somewhere.
Somewhere
You'll
we'll
be
cross
at Gold
paths.
Rush Days, right?
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be at Gold Rush Days. If I'm not, it'll be because I'm broke up or something. Other than that, I'll be there.
Reed, check out Thomas's videos. He does a lot of drone videos.
Oh, no kidding. I have a drone, too. I have an old P3.
Yeah,
Oh
he
yeah,
does. He
yeah, that's
does.
what I have, a P3 standard. Yep.
And he's going to start
Yeah.
a prospecting rental business. He wins so much equipment, he's going to start renting it out.
There's a reason why we call him Lucky Ducky Dog, folks.
Aha.
He is a very fortunate man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
never fly
well.
my little drone.
none of his luck ever rubbed off on me, doggone it.
Yeah.
Well, Ed, you have to be there at a certain time. You know, it only works for us at a certain time.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. One of these days, Thomas.
We're lucky
one
because
of
we
Why
get
did-
to sit
He just
around
can't
the
rub his
fire
bald
with him.
head
Why the
like
next
the winter.
We get lucky because we get to sit around the fire with him.
That's right.
Exactly.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, yeah. We definitely have a good time sitting around the fire at the Swank and other areas around at Double D and all that.
Yeah, wherever we're at,
We
the
got-
fire always gathers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it myself.
Yeah, we got quite a few places here in Ohio too where we prospect. Oh, Southern Ohio and Middle Ohio, you know, so
Oh yeah.
not
Lots
bad.
of places. Lots of places.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
You know, it is.
We're going to do our best to be Ohio bound this year.
That'd be awesome.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, we'll even we'll bake you a cake. How's that?
Jesse will bake you a cake.
Well, as long as you don't have to put a hacksaw in it, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
No need for
Oh.
files, huh?
Oh, my brains are working here, guys. Look out.
Uh-oh,
Stop it.
uh-oh. We're in
Stop it, Jeff.
trouble now.
We're in trouble now. Jeezy P.
Oh boy.
Yep. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here.
All right,
All right.
Thomas. Thanks for
All right.
calling, buddy. Have a
Hey,
good
no
one.
problem. Talk to you guys later.
Yeah. Talk to you later, Thomas. Thanks for calling in.
Yep. Bye.
Our good
Yeah.
friend Thomas Folks.
Yep.
He's another Indiana prospector.
Cool.
Isn't he?
Quite the show.
He's actually the state director.
Yeah. For
The
Oh, is
GPAA.
it? Oh, nice.
The
Yeah.
GPAA state director. Yeah.
He belongs to OSPA too, the Ohio State Prospectors Association.
Right.
He's Ohio too. He snuck in on us.
Ah,
He's definitely part of our family here. That's
Yes, he
for
is.
sure.
cool. Yeah, I've been GPAA since the 90s, so yeah.
Yep. Oh, you got no problems then.
No,
Yeah,
that's
I-
why I'm just kind of
You
fit
could
right
come
in,
here.
you know?
You could come to the Swank the Monday before that weekend, hang out.
Yep.
You know.
Well, yeah, I'm LDMA, you know,
That's
since
There you
the
go.
90s.
right.
That's one thing out here.
Like-
They used to have some serious claims for dredging, and that's what I did. Back in the day,
Right.
they had a real nice claim on the North Fork of the Yuba River, and we got all kinds of gold out of that claim. It was really good, you know. lot of fun.
Italian bar. A lot
Yeah.
of properties.
Yeah, I don't remember what the name of the claim was nowadays, but it was one of Terry Stapp's claims. You know, Terry, he makes the winches and he makes the wetsuit heaters. that go on the Honda motors and so on. And yeah, so we dredged that claim of his that was he let the LDMA have for a number of years, and yeah, we did really good right there, really good.
Nice. We have another caller, Reed. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Ed. This is old Ray up in Juneau, Alaska.
Hey, Ray. How you doing?
The Razor.
I couldn't believe you guys got the old Reed on. Believe it or not, hey Reed, I got to tell you something, man. I started gold prospecting about 4 years ago, due to my brother actually working up there at the Snobble mine up there, you know, from Gold Rush days and all that. And I scored a couple of them old yellow Keen floats, just like you had. And you were one of the only YouTubers out there that actually had a set of them old yellow floats. And I started watching your videos over and over and over, trying to figure out how I could as cheaply put together as big a gold equipment as I possibly could.
Yeah.
Well, my old Franken dredge, a lot of the frame I got from Reed's video, you know, with the conduit and the pipe and the unistrut and the 15-gallon drums, and it worked great.
That's what I still use when I can dredge.
My dredge was from the 90s also. It's an old dinosaur. The original frame's only like 3.5 feet wide, if that. It was real tippy. And those old yellow pontoons, they're in my backyard, but they're all sun checked in. You know, you could probably poke your finger through them right now, but
yeah, mine are really getting checked really bad. A good question for Reed while we're talking about them old piece of shit yellow floats. Now, what's the story about filling them floats just full of foam and using them anyways?
I've heard of people doing that, but you know, if they're already cracking, why not just go ahead and get new floats? I think the last I heard, you could still buy those floats from Keen, brand new.
Well, the old
if I was going to buy floats, I damn sure wouldn't buy those.
Yeah, especially those long torpedo style. They're just too big. But you know, I switched to drums back in the 90s, and yeah, I still use the floats here and there, depending on what dredges we're building or whatever. If I have to have a set laying around, but those 15-gallon drums just take the place of those floats real easily. You just want to build a new frame for it, because generally, you know, when you have an old dredge like that, it's so narrow that it doesn't handle the fast water really well. And if you're up there, you know, and you're in fast water, you want a wider front end or a wider dredge so it'll maintain and keep its stability, you know. And you can put more drums on also. That way you honestly, you want a dredge you can climb up and stand on. That's how I always feel about it. If you're in an area where you can use a dredge at 6 inch or more, you know, build one that's just make a new frame out of unistrut or whatever you want to do. You can weld one together and make it out of aluminum. Yeah, you could, like I said, you could buy the old floats. As far as filling them with a foam, I've never done that myself. I've heard people doing it, and then there's also people that just go ahead and make brand new floats out of foam and then wrap them, you know, or fiberglass them, you know, and they do it themselves. But I would say just go ahead and make new floats, or just use barrels and make it to fit your sluice box, and make enough room to where you can put gasoline on top of it, and, you know, store all your tools and stand up and walk around, you know, the old way you can take a suntan while you're down there at the bottom, you know.
Oh, I already had a little gal riding on my dredge once. Now, have you ever really seen anybody actually just using a boat and then putting the sluice box in it and sealing it up that way, and just running your sluice box around while the sluice is actually still embedded into your boat?
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that a number of times.
I've been looking around for videos. I've been looking around for videos, and I ain't seen any of them really that's got a boat dredge.
Well, Razor, I guess you're going to have to make one.
Yeah,
I follow that
there's
myself.
Actually a guy right now in New Zealand that has just built a jet boat with a sluice box and everything built right in. And I don't know his channel, but if you go to TreasureNet and look it up there, he's got it. He has his videos up online there, and you can find his YouTube channel. Give me a couple minutes so you guys talk, and I'll find it real quick if you want.
Well, Razor has. Don't you ride your dredge out to your spot, Razor?
Well, yeah, but I don't have enough power. I need to put an outboard on the back of it because a couple of times now, this last year, I got in a situation where I didn't have enough power out of that water pump to safely keep me near shore.
Oh,
and it was just by a hope and a prayer that I made it back to shore.
Wouldn't want to see you get blown way out in that strait there in Juneau.
Yeah, that would not be fun because then the coasties would get involved and everybody be beating on poor old Ray.
Right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
What about one of those? What are those called? What are those boats called? Those duck boats? What are those called?
John boats?
No, not a John boat. Like the one we were looking at.
Yeah, you're talking about pontoon boats where you can actually have the two pontoons on the the party boat.
That too.
That'd make a good outfit.
Nobody's got them up here, and I just scored that skiff. I just scored that real highbrowed skiff. I posted a video about it the other day.
I saw that.
I've just got to, I've got to figure out a way to how I want to put the dredge in there. I'm not so much worried about the tailings going out the end. That's no big deal. What I worry about is how do I want to go ahead and knock a hole in the front, and what I want to build in the front of that thing, whether I want to go a flare, whether I want to go crash box, and plus without buying more equipment, the only things I have available to me is a 5-inch pressure tube, a 4-inch hydroforce nozzle, or two 3-inch hydroforce nozzles. And I only have one Kane P500 pump with a 13 horsepower engine.
Wow. You can't go 6-inch?
Well, I could go 6-inch, but I don't have any 6-inch material up here to buy. And it costs a bloody fortune to get.
He's
I'm looking.
Alaska.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That doggone hose, I wanted to buy some new 5-inch hose, and it was $8 a foot. And I was going to have to wait 6 weeks before I could even get it.
How deep is your gold?
It's right there on the surface. I can long arm it. It's sand.
Oh, heck yeah.
Beach sand.
It's beach off of Juneau, Reed. So.
Yeah, you might. Oh, it is. Yeah, you might be able to run a 5 and a 3. You said you got a 5 and 2 3s, right?
Right. That's kind of what I was wondering, if I could do the 2 3s into the 5 and then just a single hole through the bow of my boat that's a 5-inch into a crash box.
Yeah, the 3s would really restrict it. They really would, because you're not going to have as much water. That's going to be half the water of what the 5 would need, almost.
Well, I don't know. That's one of the things I was trying to figure out mathematically is, would 2 3s give me more material than a single 5?
No. Oh, you know what?
No,
it won't. Especially, no, I don't think so. Because for every inch you go up, you're like quadrupling the amount of water going through and material.
You'd have to run that by me again. I lost you.
For like every inch in hose diameter that you go up, you're doubling the throughput of material that you're putting through.
So I'm actually better off going with either the 4-inch or the 5-inch.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If you got a 4-inch, I would go 4. You might.
I do have a 4. I've got a brand spanking new 4-inch hydroforce.
Yeah.
I've got a brand new hydroforce 4-inch, and I've got a really old pressure tube. But the problem I've got with my 5-inch is most of my 5-inch hose is shot. And it's going to cost me a fortune to get new 5-inch hose.
Yeah.
Unless you got a magic way of fixing old crappy hose.
Well, you don't have a rubber shop?
With you.
I mean, in Juneau, you think you'd have a rubber plant up there, a place you can buy rubber like we have, just rubber supply houses down here where we get all our stuff. You know?
No, there ain't no rubber.
Juneau.
There ain't no rubber supply house in Juneau, Alaska.
Juneau,
No.
Alaska. He's like one of 3 people living there.
Oh,
I'm
They
like,
use, they use
I'm
the
like
same hose on jacuzzis, you know. I'm sure there's a
it's
lot
about
of jacuzzis.
800 miles. 800 miles north of 800 miles north of Seattle, and about 800 miles east of Anchorage.
You can
Okay.
find out how that flex tape is. See how good it works. You can put it to the test.
Gorilla tape.
There you go.
Gorilla
That
tape.
gorilla tape.
Oh, flex tape would be special order, wouldn't it, Ray?
No, we got that.
Yeah.
We do got lots of tape.
Yeah.
Hose weighs an extra 100 pounds, but boy, it sucks like no tomorrow.
That's the one bad thing about living where you live, Ray. Everything either has to be boated in or flown in.
Yeah, freight's a bastard, man. Freight's a killer.
I bet.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I just kind of really wanted to call in, and I was kind of surprised when I seen Ed that you were going to have Reed on, because Reed was one of the very first, besides Doc over at Gold Hog, Reed was one of the very first videos I sat there and I watched over and over and over, and Doc's over and over and over, just to try to learn more before I started spending a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Hey, he'd
That's
be
cool.
a good one to
I'm
learn
glad.
from.
You know. Yeah, I hope it did you right, you know.
And I did notice
here it
that
is.
even last year, I mean, I'd seen Reed's been gone for a long time. You know, Reed had been gone for a long time, and I seen where you hadn't posted no gold videos in a long time, and then all of a sudden you got that new drone, and you did a bunch of drone videos,
Oh, I
and
haven't
Yeah,
done
a
then
bunch of those. Yeah.
and then just recently you started doing them the house trailer videos. But you actually did do some gold panning the other day, and it was good to see you out there.
Yeah, that was a quickie. Karen, she does a lot of filming with her camera, and she does like Facebook Live and stuff. So yeah, she filmed me doing that, and I've got a lot more stuff like that I've got to put together and edit and get out on YouTube.
Well, I'm just damn glad to see you. I'm just damn glad to see you back out and about, and you know, trying to get healthy and living the dream.
Yeah. I just found that link. I mean, I'm pulling it up right now for the guy with the jet boat dredge. And give me a couple seconds here. It's coming. So
I'd love to have a jet boat dredge. That way I could go up the Herbert River, and there's a spot on the Herbert River I'm just dying to try.
well, they had that years ago. They had a dredge up there that was an airboat. You know, like not a hydrofoil, but whatever they're called. You know, they actually float on the air and they float on top of the water.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The guy's name is who has a jet boat dredge is just under LBD, all capitals, capital L, capital B, capital D, and that's his YouTube site. And that's it. Yeah. It's just, you look that up, it'll come up, or you can type in, let's see, LBD sluice box running, and he's the guy that has the jet boat dredge.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and look it up right now too. LBD.
Yeah.
That's pretty easy. I think I can spell that.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't miss that one. You know. I can if you guys can find it, I don't know if you can type it in or copy and paste it into as a link or something like that. You can, you know, it's there too.
I'm searching YouTube for LBD, and I see a lot of women.
That's what I'm seeing too. That's what I'm seeing too.
Search. If you're doing it in the search, type in the LBD and put down sluice box running afterwards.
Sluice box what?
Running.
Sluice box running?
Yeah.
I see LBD sluice box.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. I'll go ahead and
Excellent.
I'll subscribe to his channel. Oh, he's got a
cool.
triple.
Yeah, too.
Yep, he's got him a triple.
It's a neat dredge, really neat dredge. You know.
So now I keep hearing about the biggest problem with dredges is you got to keep that nozzle as low as possible in the water. So is that, I mean, because every so many inches of lift, it really screws it up or something like that? Or are you any good at that math stuff about lifting material up out of the water, especially heavy sand and water at the same time?
Well,
Kind of like a high banker, but in the sand.
It really depends on what kind of a sluice box you have. If you have a crash box, you can lift the nozzle out of the water without any problem, you know. But when you have a jet flare, you lift the nozzle out and it blows everything right over the top of the sluice box and out the back, depending on how steep you have your flare set. In order to get the best gold recovery out of the flare, you want it as flat as possible, just right underneath the surface of the water in the top. So the longer the better, and the flatter you can get it, the better.
Okay. All right. Well, that's helpful. That's helpful. That's damn helpful.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, that's one of the reasons I called in. I wanted to pick your brain.
And then, like, if you got a plug up and stuff, like what I do, I take my nozzle, you know, I'd have it right here, and the surface of the water, I just take it up, and I count to 3, then bring it right back down, so you get, you know, about a 3 or 4 foot section of air going through the tube, especially when you're using a jet flare. And that way, usually the air will hit where your rocks or whatever it is hitting. And because now you don't have water around it, you just have the air going around it, the rocks will drop, and then it'll just go ahead and go right on through without even having to pull a plugger pole and do that kind of stuff. And plus, it doesn't, you know, have a bunch of water, you know, spraying out the back because you never actually even uncover your jets, you know, in your, you know, where your jets, you know, are coming through.
So how many states back east are, I keep hearing that something about crash boxes are illegal versus flares is why they're making them out of flares, or is a flare more efficient than a crash box, or what?
I have no idea about it being illegal, but I'm a crash box guy myself. I'm all for crash boxes over a jet flare any day. I out here in Ohio or Indiana or anywhere like that I know of is a crash box illegal over a jet flare. I never heard that.
Yeah, I never heard that either.
That's something I had heard, and that's why they went to flares. And King got got away from crash boxes because because they became illegal, and that's why King went to flares. I don't know. No. I guess I don't know.
No, flares are more efficient, but it depends. If you have a lot of clay or a lot of material that needs to be broken up, the crash box, when the material comes up through your hose, it slams into the crash box and it breaks it up more. That's what a crash box is good for.
That's why I like the crash box better, because of the silt and clay we deal with here. It breaks up those clay boulders or clay balls really well.
Right.
Yeah. And for me, in California, where we don't have that when you're dredging in the rivers down here, when we could dredge, of course, just having a flare, you get a lot more throughput, and you have an oversized flare, and then your hose fits up inside of it, you know, so everything is bigger as it goes back, and you don't get any plug ups at all, you know. Or like on my 4-inch, I have my 4-inch Pro line that I modified to run off of a 9 horsepower HP 500 pump, and it would break your fingers if you stuck your fingers in front of the nozzle. But man, I'll tell you, you want to put out some material, you put out the material, and you got that 13 horse. You know, if you put that just a 4-inch on there because it's sand, and as long as you put like a 20-inch box on there, or at least an 18, your 4-inch will just flat out put the material through it, man. And if you're using Dream Mat or whatever, I'm not sure if you were saying you're going to use the Dream Mat or not. That should actually work really good. Yeah, Gold Hog. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Use the right mats and you make sure it's wide enough. When you got the 13 horse, what is that? 600 gallons a minute, 550, something like that. The pump. I mean, you can flat out move the material through there when you have it on a 4-inch.
All right. Well, I've got the rest of this spring to get it all built up, because this year I'm hoping to be able to get out. Last year was kind of a crummy year for me. I didn't get out as much as I wanted to, but this year I want to turn some sand. And the more yards I turn, the more grams.
Right.
Yeah. Well, if you can build your own nozzle with a 4-inch, if you're going to run it with a 13 horsepower motor, and with me, I would max it out as fast as it go. You might want to build yourself a nozzle that has a damper on it where you can open it up and relieve the pressure at the nozzle if something does get stuck on the end of it. You know?
Yeah, I've never had quite that much suction on it. I've actually had that entire 4-inch line and the 5-inch line completely plugged full of sand. And I'll tell you what, that's a heavy son of a gun to take and deal with.
There's nothing worse than a sand plug. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Nothing worse.
You're wrestling an 800-pound anaconda.
Yeah, I had a 5-inch. We were sitting down in the hydraulic area, and my buddy wanted to dredge. It was one of his first times dredging. I was like, okay, that's cool. Whatever you do, don't put it down. Well, he put it down to come out. He had to go to the bathroom real bad. And I'm like, well, what'd you do with the nozzle? He goes, well, I set it right there on top of the sand. And the whole thing had sucked itself through the sand straight down to the end of the hose. I mean, it was down like 10 feet. We ended up having to cut the hose off, dig out as much as we could by hand, and then go ahead and use it open because the nozzle's at the bottom of the hole 10 feet down to just keep opening up around and around to get the rest of the hose back.
Oh, good God.
It was horrible.
Oh, and you had to cut the hose? Oh, that's even worse.
We had to cut the hose. We couldn't get to the nozzle. It was that
right.
deep.
That's a bad day.
And we didn't have a secondary hose to hook up to get the sand out of there. So we actually had to cut the. Right. We dug down as far as we could. You know, thank God we were already in a hole, and we moved the dredge directly over the top of us, so we'd go straight down with the hose we had left to dig out the rest of the hose. You know, one of those stories you don't hear very often. You know.
Live and learn.
Definitely not a good. Yeah. Hard.
All right, man. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and hop off the yacker, but Reed, thank goodness you're all back up and running. I'm glad to see you. You're looking a lot healthier there, bud.
Well,
and Dano, Ed,
working on
Mr. El Schwenko himself. I'll be looking forward to you guys all getting out on the out there on the river and showing us some gold.
Springs are coming.
It's coming, buddy.
Springs
it's
are coming. Getting here closer and closer.
It'll probably be coming down there faster than it will be up here because it's cold.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I bet.
You're probably warmer than we are now. What's your temperature there?
No, it's only 20 degrees. It's cold.
No, I'm at 21.
Okay. All right. Well, it's cold there. All right.
Cold here too.
Hey, now, don't. I'm gonna stretch it out here on the limb. It must be colder for my buddy El Schwenko than me. He's got the Hispanic origin, so he's colder. All right, guys. God bless y'all. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much, Ray. Thank you. Keep up the good work, buddy. All right. Well, on that note, let me take care of this break from one of our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Adventure, mystery, discovery. Gold panning is more than a search for beautiful rocks. Panning is a journey that can take you to amazing places all around the world. It is an experience for all ages, bringing families closer together and fulfilling a spark of excitement when life has grown too dull. The Gold Claw pan makes it easier to take part in the journey than ever before. This expertly designed pan is made for any skill level and any age. All you need is an explorer's heart and the passion for discovery. Begin your family's gold story now. Order your Gold Claw pan today and see where the adventure takes you.
All right. Well, Ray's a great guy, quite the character. You should check out his channel if you haven't already. Read Ray Rusa. Could search, and he dredges a beach outside of Juneau that actually is tailings from a mine that pretty much made Juneau. But
wow.
He sent me some material. I'm still panning through it. having good old time with my pocket pan from Gold Claw with it. But yeah, it's there's a lot of galena and heavies in it also. So, but it's some quite interesting soil he runs. I don't think he has a problem with any big rocks, like you were talking about having a flap like you would on a big 8-inch dredge or something.
Yeah.
But he does come across a bottle or two now and then, so.
And his gold is a trip. It's very fine powder stuff, talcum powder size.
It's a woman could wear it as makeup. It's that fine. It's
Yeah,
just
it is.
like
Wow.
flour fine. But I'm sure it'd be comparable to what you were finding on the beach of Oregon. Were you in the Gold Run area, Gold Beach area?
Yeah, I was down in Gold Beach also. We were up north out of Florence, that area, and a little bit higher.
Okay.
Then I was up at Cape Disappointment in Washington also.
Oh yeah, right there. There they do a lot of beach mining at Cape Disappointment.
Yeah.
Actually, I know the Buckeye or the Bedrock Prospectors out of Puyallup. Last week we had the president and the vice president of that club on, and they'll be there in March, wasn't it? Or May. March or no, March. I want to go back to Washington to visit my mom. I wanted to go back in March, but Judy's talking about more May. Huh?
Talking about Dennis Peterson, right?
Yeah. But I know he does that a lot, and the inventor of the Spin It Off from Columbia River Mining Supplies, David, he does a lot of beach mining at Cape Disappointment.
Yeah.
I'll get there one of these days. I gotta go visit home, visit my mom, visit my kids. But until then,
gold.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
Ooh.
nice picture. Okay, show and tell.
Most of that came out of those old sluice boxes that I was talking about.
Oh, is that from the old sluice boxes, huh? Cool.
Yeah, the
It's all
one you found
hydraulic
on that hydraulic mine series.
Yeah.
I'll have to rewatch that. I watched that several years ago.
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
I like the good history and stuff you had in it, and talking about that old sluice you found and showing it, and it was a really good video. Remember I was telling you before we came live, Jesse, before Reed hopped in with us about
much better picture.
finding that old sluice box. I bet you it was a honey hole.
It was.
What that one piece weigh? That big piece you had there, golf ball size.
That's 5.5 ounces.
Wow. Is that your specimen that you'll never get rid of ever? Or did you already sell that? Yeah.
No, I have it. Yeah.
Cool.
I don't have it on me, but I do have it.
No. I don't think that'd be one that I'd get rid of. Maybe some of the smaller ones.
Yeah, no, I don't. And I've sold off all my finds. We've got so many finds that we melted down into, buttons and so on, door bars. And that's pretty much what we sold. And, you keep the nuggets. Like I said, I sold a few on eBay, and nowadays I'm just saving them to, give to the next generation.
Right.
There you go.
No, my little pile of gold was nothing compared to what you got there.
I'd be going to Colorado in style with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been lucky as far as it goes, finding nuggets all my life. just, you know, had some really good times. You know, like I said, I found a 4.5 ounce nugget when I was like 10 years old. And go back to the beginning of the show. Yeah, I am the guy that has shot nuggets out of a slingshot many times as a kid, never as an adult. I want to make that clear.
You grew up.
Yeah, I definitely grew up, you know. And I got this one too. This is a Yuba River slug. That's what they call it. And that's 1.5 ounces. And that came out of the Yuba River. And they call it a slug because it's really not that much to it. It doesn't look like, you know, the Holy Mary, nothing like that. So it's not worth a whole lot of money. But the fact is, it's still 1.5 ounce nugget. So
right.
And he may not get a whole lot more than the spot for it, maybe spot plus, you know, 25% or something like that. But it's,
right.
You know, it's those kind of nuggets you just hold on to, you know.
Yep. Let's see.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a couple of them here. I mean, I don't carry a whole lot with me. I belong to the Motherlode Goldhounds also. And years ago, when I went to my first meeting, you know, I won some gold. It just happened to be out of one of the old family mines of mine, you know. And we got that specimen out of there. That came out of the 16-1. And yeah, the Morning Glory Loop used to belong to my mom's family back in the day. So yeah, we absolutely still have some gold from that, and I have pictures of her with a, you know, the big old 7-pound nugget that they had that he got out of the mine.
We were wondering when we were going to get to the gold porn.
Yeah, yeah, got to show some gold, you know.
Gold porn.
Yeah, definitely got to show some gold. So, yeah, yeah, that's good. I mean, I have a lot, but those are my two. You know, two of the really good shots. I have some, just some hard rock gold that I've gotten out of the mine and so on, you know, so on and so forth. But nothing quite as good as that one. I mean, you know, I can not even compare myself to Grandpa. I'll put it that way. I mean, they had, you know,
Ryan,
thousands of ounces. But you know, what can you say? You know, a little bit different time back then. They were illegal to do what they were doing.
I'll say hi to Ryan, who Man versus Gold is in tonight.
Yeah,
hey,
I
what's
see.
up?
Awesome.
He's still alive.
That's one guy I'd like to get on too, because he went from just curiosity, living in the Portland, Oregon area, saw some guys panning, talked to them. Now he's doing it for a living, I believe. I believe he's up by Haines, Alaska now. I'd like to find out if he ever got to the Bering Sea Gold on Vernon's dredge too.
Oh, Vernon offered him a place on that dredge too, huh?
I know he was. I know he was talking to him about it before. Oh, that was a couple of years ago. Now, Ryan, let me get you on the show one of these. It'd have to be in May though, because I'm booked up until then for guests. But send me a message on Facebook, buddy. I'd love to have you on.
You said he passed on that.
Yeah, he passed on Vern's offer.
Right on. Got to do what's best for you, buddy.
That's right. Especially that time of year up there, you're just getting going.
Yeah.
All right,
cool.
Excellent, Ryan. Cool.
Very cool.
It would have to be around May though, because like I said, I'm booked till then for guests. I try, like I told you before, Reed, I try and stay a good couple of months out on my guests.
That's the smartest thing to do, yeah.
I don't want to be going, oh man, who am I going to get this coming Tuesday and it's Sunday?
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
good.
because
It gave us time
we know
to,
nobody,
you know, get
we know
scared
nobody
and
wants to
set up
sit
to
here
work
and listen to
working.
me rant.
Right. No, I was trying to listen to Reed, Jesse, when you were talking.
I'm sorry.
It's okay,
I'm
buddy.
sorry.
It's all good.
It's
So,
all good.
it gave us
You
2
know
months
how
to get it ready and figure out how to get it working.
You know how
That's
you know how I
right.
like to rant.
Yeah. We know we haven't had any of those too much lately.
No, Dave Veland finally showed up. He's late.
Oh well, like I say, better late than never, right, guys? Better.
That's right. They can always watch it later too.
So you always watch it later and comment.
That's
Yep.
right. Please do comment if you watch it later. Please do comment. Hey, we have a phone call from our driveway miner.
All right.
Hey, Mr. Shaw, how you doing tonight?
Evening, John.
Doing good. And not much of a voice, but doing pretty good. I just want to say hello to Reed.
What's going on, Matt?
Oh, a whole lot. You're getting to do what? Hopefully in about 6 months I'll be able to start doing.
Nice.
Wife's doing good. She's recovering, and her plans is to get a trailer and us do some traveling. So
yeah,
Cool.
we love it. We love it. Karen and I, we've been in this trailer since February, and we had a casita before this, and we've been basically full time in this trailer for it'll be a year this next month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wife had to have a lower part of her leg amputated. She gets her prosthesis tomorrow, so she gets up and moving around, and that's her plan. She wants to travel some, so, and she likes the idea that I'm into prospecting now. It keeps me out of trouble.
Yeah, well, you know, the LDMA has a lot of great properties that you can just go camp on with your trailer too, and the best part about it is there's gold.
There's
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, I just wanted to say hello, and I originally started out in California myself. Lived in the Full and Benicia area, and up until about the 80s, and moved down here to Texas, and about 3 years ago I got into coal prospecting. Amazing, all that time I didn't know anything about it when I was out there.
I went through the same thing, John. I was out in California, out in Colorado, wasn't even into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, wish I would have been into it.
I'm gonna let y'all go, and y'all have a good evening now.
Thank you
All right,
very much,
thank you.
John.
I hope you're feeling better, John.
No,
Definitely.
All right.
better.
Good one, John.
Yeah, I wish I would have got into prospecting when I grew up in Southern California, you know. It would have saved a lot of hassle. Instead, all I thought about was surf, girls, surf, surf, girls, 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 surf, 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 surf.
Yeah.
Worst
time too.
John Shaw's our driveway gold miner.
Yeah.
He's in southern Texas, and he's able to find gold in his driveway.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That's how we met.
Is that where he dumped it out the first time?
Excuse me?
I remember reading a post of his. Where he found the gold in his driveway that one time.
Yep. That's John Shaw. Yes, sir.
Yep.
He does a lot of good, too. He does a lot of demonstrations at nursing homes and stuff, too, down in Texas. So that's really cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That'd be neat.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Sure.
Very proud to have him part of our community.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of our loyal listeners.
Yeah. He's
Nice.
actually more than that. He is a contributor.
That's right, he is.
Along with Deborah, who was in here in the chat earlier. He's one of our patrons. Bless you. I could have swore I heard someone sneeze.
You did. Sorry.
You did.
I'm innocent this time.
I just as I hit mute, I coughed.
Good thing he didn't have his camera on. You might have seen something.
You've seen me wiping my face.
Wiping out the video camera in his face, huh?
Yeah. Smather.
Hey, good night, Ray.
Oh, my headache's getting worse too.
Well, I hope you feel better. I know I still have a little one. I took like 3 ibuprofen when we first started, but still got it.
Paul Nee, first time here, Bedrock member. How you doing, Paul?
All right.
Well, welcome, Paul.
Welcome, Paul.
And we like Reed, as you notice, we interact with our chat room, on here also.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I can't see it currently, so I don't know where we're at on that. I just saw the picture, and yeah, I can't tell where I'm at on the chat. I'm probably like 5 minutes behind. Who knows?
No, you're about 15 seconds behind.
Well, let's see.
That's the lag time.
Mr. Lodak just posted on mine. So is that at the top of the list or is it on the list?
Well,
yeah. Hi, Paul. Welcome. There we are.
Yeah. Usually your chat keeps up, but the video will lag if you're watching it. You can't watch the video.
Yeah.
Can't watch the video.
No. Oh, nice little prospector doing a little coloring, Reed.
My wife is an adult coloring book artist, and so she did this for Stanton Camp,
Oh, cool.
And so, yeah, she does all kinds of artistry, and I mean, she's got her own webpage, and Etsy, she sells thousands. She sells thousands of these. Anyway, she just made this for us. And so,
we might have to commission her artwork sometime.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, she'll do it. She's really good, as you can see. So the people here at Stanton are loving this one. They're using it for.
I bet.
They're going to have color and chat here, on Wednesdays and that kind of stuff here at the LDMA camp for all the ladies and gentlemen who feel like joining in and coloring and just talk. And they're going to have crafts at the same time.
What that was.
A lot of stuff's going on.
I saw a post about that coloring page.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Should be starting up here pretty soon, I hope.
Yeah. Very
cool.
But
she made that picture for it, and then that's what she does. She does a lot of drawing and stuff.
Yeah, because Jesse and I were talking about getting kind of a cartoony of us three, Dano, myself, and Jesse, and cartoon pictures.
Oh, get a caricature drawn.
Yeah. For like a t-shirt or whatever.
Oh, yeah, with your face on it. That'd be really good.
Right.
And a bullseye on it, too, maybe.
You're gonna run little kids off, dang it.
Already scare off little kids.
I could soon have a mask I could wear for Halloween with you on it. That'd be good.
Yeah, there you go. So, Paul Nee was looking for the archive show with Dennis, which was last week, and he found us. Well, stick around and listen to us for a while, and you can watch that show, and then you can go back and listen to all our shows.
Yeah.
Comment, like, whatever you need to do.
That was a good show with Dennis and Richard. Wasn't his name Richard, the vice president?
Richard. Richard, what's his last name? I don't remember now.
Holcomb.
His buddy.
Richard Holcomb and Dennis Peterson. Well, we're glad you're here, Paul. Welcome to the Flash in Your Pan family. The rabbit hole find, Paul.
Yeah.
Sharon.
Yeah.
Well, Dan, you missed last week. If you think, go back, watch it. Please comment. It was a really good show. They, like I said before, the vice president and president of Bedrock Prospectors out of Puyallup, Washington. I was a member there, quite a few years ago, about 8 years ago, 9 years ago. I joined to get you. They have some good mining property on the Pashaston Creek in the Blewett Pass area of eastern Washington on the dry side, with some pretty good gold and some properties also at that time in some pretty good gold country on the wet side of the Cascades. And I was up there helping my mom. She just had her foot amputated. So I was helping her, I was helping my boys, and I wanted places to go dig that were claimed and not just going into DNR property or searching the LR 2000 for open land on open areas that I could prospect. So I joined them. Unfortunately, I never got to any other claims. I was always busy. But, and at that time they had property up above Index on the North Skykomish River. And when I went to go there, instead of taking the back way, the road above Index was washed out, so I could not even get to it. And if I wanted to go the other way, it would have been hours and hours of traveling. So, nonetheless, good group. That was a good show, but this show's about you, Reed. and I'm glad you're with us. I've been a subscriber of yours for years now. And
cool. Thank you. I've been a subscriber of yours too.
Yeah, and you even was good enough to have me on your links on your channel. And
I think you still are, probably.
Yes, I looked today.
Matter of
fact, still
fact,
there.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And Gold versus, or Man versus Gold Alaska also does that for me too. Ryan, another guy.
Yeah, Ryan's good people.
I'd love to be able to meet him one day when I'm back home in the Pacific Northwest. That's if he's down visiting in the Portland area. But that's one great thing about the internet nowadays. You know, we can network and build a community globally.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's pretty awesome. Hey, do you guys ever use mylandmatters.org?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good place. I use that for finding claims, and you know, they've been a really help to me down here in a new area in Arizona. And Clay, one of the guys that runs the site, he sent me this link to this thing on Rich Hill, and it's a 3D that I can just go ahead and I can scroll left and right or up and down and see the views and everything of this whole area. And I'm right about here right now.
Oh,
so
cool.
It's mylandmatters.org, and it's just really, I got to say, this, it's a free site on the net, and it's just great.
It's a great resource site, definitely.
Yeah, in 3D.
Yeah, 3D map of Rich Hill, the whole Rich Hill area from right here.
Yeah,
and it has all the mines. They're all interactive. You can click on the mines, and it takes you to the LR 2000 and gives you the whole rundown from BLM on each and every mine.
Wow, very cool.
Really neat site. If you've never been to mylandmatters.org, then you should go there, because that's you want some education. Go through every single page on that site, and you'll find something about every single state that you're in, and you'll do nothing but learn a lot of good stuff on mining.
I believe I have an old live stream when I was testing the waters for live streaming way back in May of last year or so. I think I even have a video where I'm talking about different websites for resources, and I brought up My Land Matters. It's a great website, and since the BLM has changed the format of their site,
Yeah.
Oh, I forget the name of
The LR2000.
it. Well, the Geo,
Yeah.
what they used to call it.
Come on.
It's right here.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a GIS, the GIS mapping system they had.
Yeah, and now I don't even want to mess with the site. Before they showed drop claims and active claims, and then they stopped that, and you could just click on it. It'd be really easy to find the property in the LR2000 reports.
Yeah.
I just think they made it harder and harder to use, where My Land Matters maps, that whole website, like you said, is a great site.
Yeah, you can pull up the maps and, you can go for topos, you can go for aerial views, whatever you want. And if you want to add the claims in for placer claims or for load claims, just click that little, selection link on the right, and then you can go ahead and it'll list all the claims in the area, how many placer claims, how many load. Then you can click on a townships and section and get each and every claim that's there and get all the information on each one. You still have to go to the county to find the actual coordinates if you're going to post a claim yourself. Right. But it's really, really just a great place to go and a great place for anybody to start out.
I want to say geocommunicator.
Yeah, that's what they called it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I haven't used that in a long time myself.
No,
either.
I just go through My Land Matters now instead of going through BLM.
Yeah.
There's also a really cool site that Randy Hunt, another YouTuber from Indiana, made, and it will show you all kinds of information on the soils in areas. One of these days I'll have to make a video about it, because I don't want to go through all the stinking gold prospecting related and map related bookmarks I have to look for the website. But there's all kinds of resources out there nowadays. Like I remember back in the mid-90s when I had my claims in Washington, Reed, when I had to order microfiche from Portland, from the BLM in Portland, and then I ended up buying a microfiche reader so I could search through the microfiches, and gee whiz, what a pain in the kazoo.
Heck yeah.
I'm sure you remember.
I remember the microfiche too. Yeah. I didn't buy a microfiche machine, but I'd go down to BLM and spend hours on a microfiche.
Oh, well, since the closest BLM to me was Portland, and I was in Cedar Woolley, Washington in the Skagit Valley, which is one county away from the Canadian border. It was 3.5 hour drive to Portland. So, if not 4 hours, depends.
Yeah, it's only about an hour and a half for me to get to BLM in California.
So,
I don't know what it is down here yet. I got to figure it out. I got to go to BLM and check it out down here one of these days and see how they are. But thankfully, most everything's on the web. Like I said, on My Land Matters, so I have no need to go to BLM at this point. And I will be going to the county. I want to claim probably before too long.
Right, and I believe you can do all your filing online now, even with the BLM.
Yeah.
So that makes it really simple. Go to the county, stake your claim, and pay your fee there. Send off what you have to BLM, and boom.
Yeah.
Okay, what were you
I haven't tried the online yet.
I thought I heard Jesse trying to say something.
Nothing. It's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right. It's okay.
It's all right.
Okay. It's okay.
Beep, beep, beep.
Well, guys, I'm starting to laugh, and I know Judy's in bed, and if I laugh too hard, we're going to be hearing it on the floor upstairs.
Yeah.
You're going to
And
know
my
it's time to quit again.
yeah, my head is pounding even worse now.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get off here.
Reed, sorry. One was injured and two were sick when you joined us tonight.
Yeah. You got us
I,
on a bad
I'm
night.
injured too, but I'm getting better. So yeah.
We're all healing, thank God.
Yeah.
Yep.
Had that darn slip my back last week. And
Yep. Oh no.
finally today I could walk straight and enjoy life. Or yesterday, I think it was.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's just been a couple days.
I wanted to touch in on dowsing and stuff like that also. I know you're a dowser also. But
Well, that's something we could do next time. Give them a reason to come.
yeah, if you'll come
that's
join us again sometime in the future, that'd be excellent.
Yep.
I really like looking at your gold porn.
Yeah, I could have put my antenna on.
There you go.
That's funny.
Makes it work better. It's a cell phone booster, you know. You just got to strap it to your head.
I was wondering where your tinfoil hat was. Somebody wants to know what's on your. Somebody wants to know what's that badge is on your hat.
Oh, that's
LDMA.
his LDMA
Oh,
name tag.
okay, there you go.
There you
Whoever it
go,
was that
right
had-
there.
Somebody asked it earlier.
Yeah. My LDMA name badge, my new one. I got
Yeah.
the old yellow one, but they went ahead and ordered me up a brand new one and gave me one of the current 21st century LDMA badges.
All right, just get into the modern age.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Old Yeller wasn't looking too good, you know.
But
Well,
it was your favorite, right?
from
Oh,
the
yeah.
90s, I could understand why, you know.
Yeah, it was old. I've got it at home, but it's pretty brittle. Yeah.
I joined when my youngest was like 5, so that was like 96. I doubt
That's
if
about when I joined too. Yeah.
I doubt if I
94,
could
96,
even
somewhere in there. I
find
think I became
my old
LDMA
badge.
in like 97.
Yeah. My foster brother turned me on to GPAA, the buzzard, and prospecting. I just wish he would have did it when we were still living in Southern California. But nonetheless, it's been a great ride since, and
Heck
still
yeah.
got a long way to go, Lord willing. But
Yep.
yeah, it's getting about that time. Jesse's, like he said, feeling worse and worse. Thank you for pulling through and hanging in there, Jesse.
No problem.
Ooh, thanks, Jess.
You know, the show must go on.
The show must go
Yep.
on. And I'm definitely going to have to bear through it tomorrow on the job. But hey, I'm not retired yet, so someone has to do it.
That's right.
I,
Better you than me.
Better, yeah,
no, better
definitely.
me than you. Yeah, I'm done working. I'm good. I don't
Bills
mind getting
need
up at night.
Bills
Wait
need
for-
paid. I gotta go to work.
That we do. But hopefully you'll get better, Dano, and be less of a gimp. Careful of those ladders.
Oh man, they hurt the shins. I tell you what, make you cry like a baby.
Ah,
That hurts thinking about that.
Yeah, I'm rubbing my shin right now. 'Cause, man, that's like hitting the funny bone. Why the heck they call that the humorous? I don't know. It ain't very humorous when
It
you
ain't.
hit it. But I'd like to thank Reed again very much for joining us. My two partners in crime, Toledo Jess and Dana, thank you. And most important of all, thank you, all of you, out there listening to us, watching us. It's
thanks for stopping by.
Yes.
It's because of you out there we do this here. And would love to have you back on in the future sometime, Reed, and I hope we see you at Gold Rush Days this coming Labor Day weekend.
Me too.
That's what Dick just said too. Hope to see you at Gold Rush.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's always a good time at Gold Rush Days. Except for that year I got terribly sick.
That was just you.
That was
the rest
just
of us
me.
still had a good time.
That's right. All right, everybody. Hang on a minute after I get this shut down, Reed, if you would. And for all of you out there, may you always have a flash in your pan.
And you know what he says.
That I do every week. Maybe one day too, we'll see you on the river.
Night, folks.
Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Night, Dano.
everybody. Thanks for
Night,
joining
Ed.
us.
Night, Jesse. Night,
Good night,
Ed.
Dano. Good
Night, Reed.
Sleep tight.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Our pleasure.
Shit.